nobody died, nobody got hurt. You are kidding. You're an idiot. Nobody got hurt, nobody died. You are kidding. Are you seeing anybody about your mental problems?
Good evening. On the 6th of October 2018, you're listening to the Australian Fake Roundtable on
Fakeologist.com.
And to introduce your guests for tonight, here's your guest host, Exoteric64.
Thank you, Velocet. And we've got a number of guests tonight, and I'm just going to announce that tonight is 52 years exactly since they banned LSD on the 6th month, October the 10th, 1966, LSD became illegal by just weird coincidence. And tonight we've got Knightlynews special guest who we haven't spoken before with, who's from Queensland.
Hello, hello.
And we've got our favourite man, Noise Level, who's me, from Perth.
How kind. Hello.
And production genius Velocet from Sydney.
Good evening.
What a wonderful voice he's got and technology. And for some reason we've lost Rollo, and we're very concerned because he's either run out of alcohol, taken too much alcohol, or at a vet, worried about his dog, but he's disappeared off the planet Earth. So there might be
two out of three involve hair of the dog and one involves the actual dog.
So there's a conspiracy starting to happen that where's Rollo, and has he been got at, or has he decided to just, have a night off? But I find that really hard to believe. We've been just sitting here chatting about voice technology and what we're using for this amazing conversation, and what various people are using various different things. I assume that everyone's hearing us all loud and clear. Does anyone want to talk about what they're using and how it's working for them and what concerns them? I'm using an iPhone 8. No, the iPhone 8, the one before the X, which is a very strange thing that happened when they released those numbers. They didn't release a 9. And I've got a $12 microphone, and I'm chatting away and I can hear everyone perfectly. So over to you, Velocet, if you want to talk about tech, or anyone else.
Oh, I think it's fascinating that Discord, the concept has only been implemented recently. I mean, the audio bandwidth doesn't require, it doesn't take a huge amount of bandwidth to do this kind of stuff.
No.
So the fact that the platform has been developed only recently, like we've had Skype for a long time, but if you wanted to use that for radio purposes, you would have to just conference everyone in the cloud and you could record one person. But the idea that this can all be multi-tracked and recorded that way, it's incredible. And the recording from Craigbot comes out 10 times better than you hear over your headphones live. Like when you actually get the master recordings, it sounds phenomenal. So this is awesome for facilitating this kind of podcast.
Yeah, it is fantastic. And I first discovered it by listening to my kids sitting in various rooms chatting away to their best friends. And I said, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? And they were talking to people from everywhere, like just chatting away and clear as a bell on. I think the most I've ever spent for the headsets is about $130, for a gaming headset. And I listened in, it sounds fantastic. And now I'm using something even cheaper. And to me, you guys sound like you're, next door.
Yeah, I'm just straight off the laptop. I'm more Spartan than even $12 headphones.
So have you got any rain where you are? I know you're in the mining areas of Queensland. Are you getting any of what we're getting?
No, not at all. There's a fair bit of cloud cover, but nothing's really come down yet. I'll have to put the sprinklers on and bring it in.
Well, I've got my theories about what they're doing, because when the big giant clouds build up off the coast of where I am, they're the days when the sprays arrive. And so whatever's happening, the big rain that should be going into where I am now, dropping lots of rain and causing rain cloud to come out of the rainforest, doesn't normally happen, but at the moment it is happening. So hopefully what we're getting will float into you.
Yeah.
And how you going, Noise Level? Are you well tonight? You've recovered from your hangover for the game last week?
Okay. Oh my God! Actually, I got toasted last night.
Good man.
But I woke up at about 2:00. I went to bed about God knows in the early morn. But I was having a great time last night. I actually chucked on this film. What is it? Blue Thunder. Do you guys remember? Yeah, do you remember that film? Man,
that's got some great stuff. That's about the technology of it's X-raying into buildings and seeing everyone moving around.
Yeah, very Predator style.
Roy Scheider from Jaws.
Scheider,
yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, it's a good choice of movie. I've got so many movies that I want to rewatch now, particularly that one, the Enemy of the State with Gene Hackman and that actor that's in everything that turns up.
I'm trying to remember it. I know the name. I don't know.
His son's now a rap star, but he's the main. He was in the Invaders, not Invasion Day, Independence Day.
Independence Day.
Yeah, the guy that turns up in every movie, but he's there. But we'll have to blame alcohol damage, but we'll remember his name.
Yes.
But
I'm feeling a lot. I'm feeling a lot better than I was last Sunday. Yeah.
Honestly, to that win.
What happened was, look, I was so ready to go after the Eagles game and the victory. And it was a great game, and I was ready to go. West Coast Eagles against Collingwood, man. It was a nail biter, stressful but we pulled it off. And and after that, I was just on such a high. I was on such a high, and so I was ready to go. And at 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock hit, and I went and checked up my Discord, and they went, "Oh no, it's been cancelled. It's tomorrow." So all that energy just got dissipated, and I couldn't help myself. And then come Sunday, I was just like brain dead. That's why I couldn't talk properly.
Man, it was good radio. It was a fantastic talk. We lost a bit at the beginning, though. We kind of went, we were talking about A.A. Morris, and then we talked about an A.A. Morris podcast, and you actually started talking about a Chris Kendall debate that he had with the
Fakeologist. Here.
He's my fan. But apart from that, it was a good talk. I thought it was fluid, and
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and then the highlight of the night was the John Law's interruptions with Velocet, Rollo, and a number of other guys. It was a really good piece, and I thought I think Velocet was quite impressed with his own handiwork there, because it worked out really well. And I
enjoy sitting back and just doing the long, like taking a 10-minute clip where you can just sort of pause and riff on it. It worked. That was our best bit in that whole show. I think that worked.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. And it was good hearing Guy giggling away in the background.
Yeah, you can't mistake that giggle. You know what? It was funny. I was listening back to the show, and then when I had that Rollo asked for a fail thing, so I had that little Pac-Man do thing.
Yeah.
And Guy was like, "It is not the Pac-Man, it's Pinnac Man." That's the line for the night. Yeah,
that was fantastic. He's
Pinnac Man.
Yeah, he is really good. We love Guy. He's just got that great sense of humour. He just bounces back, and he's doing well. And I'm glad, hopefully his work he's doing on another site, Peace of Mind, is getting recognition, because he's a real hard worker. And the stuff he did with Fakeologist, Fakeopedia, which was, in his eyes, and probably my eyes too, but underappreciated, because he would have been on there for hours and hours to do what he did on that site. So hopefully we'll hear from him again, and he can be another guest in the future. So
no doubt we'll have him back.
Yeah, and I think it's, it worked well. The whole thing bounced together. Everyone was drinking heavily, but it still came off good, And what I'm really concerned about Rollo, though, I think, where the hell is that man? Because the guy's a slut, media-wise. It loves his voice. Why isn't he here? But we're all talkaholics, so we'll bounce off and keep talking. And we've got a couple of special guests coming up from both hoax busters and Fakeologists that are their.
I do kind of hope Rollo will come busting in at some point, because it's like in the back of my mind now that he's missing, and
he will do it exactly when one of us is in a really deep conversation,
just at the right moment.
He'll come in like Dickie Knee off Hey It's Saturday and fuck the whole thing up. But anyway,
he's also too over this weekend. He's celebrating his 49th birthday, of course. I went and got this for him, and he's not here.
Fucking lines of coke. Fuck, great. Cocaine.
Oh, that was beautiful. He'll appreciate that when he gets here. Yeah. Hopefully he hasn't been abducted by aliens or the ASIO or CIA or Mossad. Probably Mossad actually would probably get him. He's been a bit
hanging around my place last weekend.
They probably were.
That's why I couldn't talk properly. One of them was trying to strangle me, and he had
his
9mm.
You've got to listen to the podcast by legendary podcaster from America. Now, oh my God, I can't remember his name. Anyway, he was doing a talk on microwave weapons with a well-known person talking about microwave weapons. Yeah. Freeman Fly, I'm talking about. And halfway through the show, he started saying, man, I don't know if I can continue, man. I'm melting here. Started talking about and then as the show goes on, he goes, I can't actually continue because I'm dribbling and I can't talk or think properly. And he cancelled the show. And I thought, fuck, that's good, right? He reckons he's being microwaved. And the same day he put up
5G. Have they put it in yet?
Well, if you actually read mainstream news at the moment, there's an awful lot of stuff about the Russians using microwave technology to fuck up people, and it was in the mainstream media at the same time. Apparently, and I believe it too. You can focus because the microwave. You've used a microwave oven, it works. You go and put something in it, and that. Now these 5G...
And walk away when you do it, mate. Don't stand there staring at it, like they do in the movies.
Or what Kiwis do when they do come out, stick your hand in it and see if it made it move funny. And they did. And speaking of Kiwis, is there any other race going to invent so many stupid things? There's nothing to do over there, so you've got to do dumb things. We come up with... jumping off the rubber, the whole thing about jumping off a bridge with a rubber band around your leg was invented in that country.
You guys have been that, and fucking sheep. Yeah, there's nothing to do, so you just fuck sheep. Yeah.
Well, they're there.
You filthy pricks.
Yeah. It's to do with transhumanism. I think they're doing research, but then they came up with this zorbing, which is you get into a giant rubber ball and go down a hill. And there's been several people killed doing that. And I come up with a thing. I remember coming up with a thing.
That's terrible.
Yeah, well, I come up with this thing. I said these stupid cunts are going to come up with commenting soon, and they're going to get con people into paying $150 to get strapped to a rubber band, poured petrol all over them, set fire and fired off into the distance. And then blow me down. The other day I saw this new thing that they actually go to a place and they strap you onto this rubber band and fire you across a crevice and then back again.
Yeah,
so that's just the kind of things people do in that country. And I can't say that I'm not a Kiwi, but I've never had that urge. But anyway, Nightly News with a K. Would you like to speak? Because you're our special guest tonight.
Well, you were just talking before about the 5G and the microwave technology. It reminded me of a show I seen a couple of years ago where they were using audio waves. I can't remember the name of the show, but it's a really good one to look up, actually. The guy who wrote the Sesame Street theme.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. He found out that they were using that song to torture these Iraqis in Abu Ghraib prison or something like that. So he was like, fully had on this mission of discovery.
Can you find the link to that and put in notes, because I'll be interested in that. I'm big into I think
absolutely.
the whole thing about Sesame Street is a thing to itself, so I'd love to discuss.
Yeah, well, so he ended up going right into like these huge audio speakers that they had on these Humvees that were for crowd dispersal, and it was quite amazing. It was about 10 years ago, or maybe 8 years ago.
It's got an abbreviation for a title, and it's that what basically they can do. They can write out there, and it sends around the truck itself. It sends a signal that you walk into it, and your body just underneath your skin will heat up to a painful level within 3 or 4 seconds, and it's all part of this thing, this war without bullets.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all this, 5G stuff's pretty hyped up and that, but it wouldn't surprise me in the least.
Look,
quite interesting.
When we start talking about microwave technology, it's there, it's used. As I said, you've got your oven you can walk into, and an invisible ray vibrates the water molecules in your food and heats it up. These things, basically, there's a Russian guy that does loads of YouTube clips, and what he shows that you can make a weapon out of a microwave oven.
I like that guy. I think he's doing time now, that guy.
He's just fantastic, and he turns around and he shows you can make a gun, and he uses just a small microwave oven, and he turns and blows up light bulbs. He just aims it, and it heats up just vibrates the molecules, and they explode. So make a bigger one, and you're going to affect anything. And, we're looking at weather warfare technology. When people say, they wouldn't do that, they can't do that. I remember reading a Donald Duck cartoon, in a Disney comic in the 70s, and it was a 1938 cartoon. It was Donald Duck weather, and he played a weather, he was flying around creating clouds, doing cloud seeding, because that technology has been around since the 30s, cloud seeding, using various sprays and chemicals, silver.
I was taught it in school. That was a normal thing.
Now, for some reason, that they kind of have dissipate, pardon the pun, have removed that kind of thing that was there in front of your face and kind of made it an impossible thing to do. Yet the patents, if you look up weather manipulation patents, there's thousands of them online.
There's also Geneva Convention against weather modification, and they don't actually make Geneva Convention rules unless there is actual technology. So I wish I had links for that as well. I really ought to do some homework with all the stuff I've seen, but I've skimmed through a lot of stuff. So, but that is one. It's been in the Geneva Convention that weather modification should not be used as warfare. I think, like you said, the 70s or something like that. I just briefly.
In front of your face in the 70s, all of a sudden it disappeared.
Yeah. But, another interesting thing, I heard the other night they were on a ABC radio show about climate change, where they were singing the regular song about how, we've only got 10 years to do something, and, we're too late. We're already too late, but we've only got 10 years. And if, they were saying that it's a drastic measure to try and contemplate, but perhaps we should be looking at seeding the atmosphere with, there's conspiracy theories out that they're doing at the moment with chemtrails, and they aren't. But, it's something that we should be looking at and investing in. And that was actually an ABC, climate change.
When I listen to ABC, for about 15 minutes, my legs start moving in all weird directions. I start talking funny and banging my head against the wall.
Yeah, and that ain't 5G. I get the same effect, but that's actually mainstream. They're talking about we should be investing in research into chemtrails, seeding the atmosphere to try and find.
Listen, I think the best guy out there, and I still trust everything he says, is Matt Landman on the geoengineering site. He's got a number of them, and he's been cut off and shut down as often as they pop, but he pops back up again. But he's got some of the best stuff, particularly the weather warfare patents, you get the quotes from the generals that said, we will control the weather by 2020. That was their date that they said we'll have total spectrum weather, manipulation. And it's so simple. I mean, you look at, you've got your stratosphere, you've got your cloud movements, and you've seen those giant microwave ships that they've got, these giant, they look like, in Australia, we've got Pine Gap, and we've got these big, giant, round shapes. These are mobile versions of them. So they can sail them out to sea. The clouds are coming over where they know exactly where weather patterns are going to go. Because if you look at lunar weather researchers, basically all weather patterns form a giant pattern and go back. You can kind of read the weather that was the same pattern 15, 20, 30, 60 years ago. They know there's going to be a build-up of clouds because of the stratospheric conditions will build up there, and they move their stuff there. They hit the microwaves up. They raise up the stratosphere. They can create a storm. And they've been doing these experiments for years, I'd say. They've been doing them since 1930, easily.
Yeah, well, the five hurricanes in a row heading to America was pretty
and watch the
crazy.
thing, though. When you watch them online, like Dutchsince, the Dutchsince, he's another great earthquake and weather exposer site. He has been attacked left, right and centre. He's had dummy sites pop up with the same name. He gets the site closed down regularly. So whatever he's doing, he's flying. You know what they say about flak? You only get flak when you're flying on top of the target.
Yeah.
Dutchsince is well worth looking into. And he's exposed so much stuff, particularly the big hurricane that went into America, to Louisiana. And they said it moved in this really unusual position, and all of a sudden it did this complete dog's leg straight over the thing. And he uses, I'd say it's weather balloon that are monitoring the area rather than satellites. They've got weather balloons with cameras that they use for the news, so you can see the cloud formation.
Yeah, they're great. I like weather balloons.
Yeah, that's what I reckon's doing all your weather.
Yeah. I'm a little bit that way as well. Some of the sites that I'm involved, that I watch is like Suspicious Observer, Adapt 2030, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. Adapt 2030 sounds good.
Yeah, and the Oklahoma Ranch Report. They're involved with some spots, and but they use NASA technology. So if NASA is a trigger for you, and I'm a big I love NASA hoaxes, and I'm right into that. But I do feel that there's room for some real equipment alongside all the green screen stuff like that. And although I haven't proved their solar imaging with my own just a telescope.
Regarding solar, right?
Yeah.
There's a technology, there's a science that's proven. They've got records going back to the 15th century, I think, of when.
Since Galileo. Who was attributed to the telescope.
When I grew up was an astronomer, right?
Yeah.
His father died when he was 9, and his mother, to try and help him cope, took him to an observatory, which was about an hour from where we grew up, and that was his thing to try and keep him, because he really got badly affected by his father passing away. And me and him were close as peas in a pod, and I used to go and sit and watch. We used to go out and observe things, satellites, and there's some strange stuff flying over top of us all the time. Maybe they are weather balloons, I'm not sure, but they move so weirdly. But he got me into the solar stuff, so I used to look at the sun a fair bit. And if you've ever looked at the sun through the telescope and looked at the incredible, these black spots that just appear here and there,
Okay, so you've set up a telescope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Many times.
Yeah, well, I need to do that to prove that the solar imaging that I'm looking at on this show is in line. But you've got the problem at the moment that there are no sunspots too. So
there is no. What's happening at the moment? We've got really low solar sunspot activity, and the guy that one of the only guys that actually predicted the big rain that we got in Queensland a couple of years ago was a solar sunspot observer, and his weather research is just fantastic. And he said in June this year, New South Wales, where I am in Australia, was going to get a winter from a Victorian winter. Queensland was going to get a New South Wales winter, and vice versa. It would go in that kind of pattern. Sure enough, I'm sitting out here now in mid-north coast Sydney, mid-north coast of New South Wales, in a big jacket with long pants, jumper underneath. No global warming. It's wet. It's raining. And exactly what he said would happen. He said, we're going to get a really cold winter, and we're getting one. And I've tried to talk to people about this, and they look at me, and I'm talking about these highly intelligent university types, like, the sun doesn't affect our weather. You know, it's just ridiculous, you know. It's just the look that you get. It's like, I've had to give up most of my friends now because it's not worth talking to them anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's the one I've been harping on about the most.
Noise, what's your weather like in Perth?
Well, what I was about to say, what you were just saying about the cold winter that you're having, mate, dude, we've had the coldest winter for fucking ages, man. Like, it was freezing. My electricity bill, like, for the last 2 months was $500. And it's usually about like $230.
Yeah, there's proof. There you got proof. Yeah. You put that on a graph. Put that on a graph and give it to a global warming wanker and say, yeah, get this. This is what my, we're not getting hotter yet. There's people. I go on Facebook, right? Facebook's been the best thing to find out how many fuckwits do you know, and guess what? It's most of the people that you know, and they post these Trump, he's going to cause World War III, and Trump's causing global warming. Trump's causing global warming, and I felt like saying I've had to stop commentating because I just want to say, listen, you fuckwit, go outside with your swimmers on now and go for a fucking swim. You know, that's all you can do. And that's the only way you can argue it. You know, it's beyond me. So we're getting, as I've mentioned in the podcast or two before, George Orwell said, you'll know when you're under control when you've got double think in action. So you've got people that are standing outside wearing a dress with goosebumps all over their fucking bums. And you've got, it's freezing cold, yet they have been told, no, it's getting warmer. So they dress appropriately for what they've been told. I mean, it's so frustrating being a woken up person at the moment.
Yeah. It's also like girls that go to out to nightclubs or pubs, whatever, you know, on a Friday, Saturday night, whatever.
Yeah. Which we love.
We love. And also, but you know, they want to look their best and they want to look sexy. And even though it's fucking freezing.
Last week, hey man, I was at Comic Con, right, Darling Harbour last week, right, and there's all these chicks walking around dressed up in some, you know, skimpy little outfit. Freezing abs, you can just see that they're freezing, trying to pretend that they're not freezing, you know, it's just, it's enjoyable to see in some respects.
Yeah, well, yeah, we all like that, you know.
Yeah. Well, did you know that earlier this year, there was a minus 20 at, Thredbo Village?
Yeah, guess what? That wasn't reported.
Yeah, no, it wasn't reported on the news. I got it off of Oppenheimer and at that time.
Yeah. You know what they've done with the weather?
I took a screenshot of that. It was actually on the weather station for there, but it had like minus 20. The lowest this week minus 20. The lowest this month and minus 15. Yeah, the lowest ever minus 15. You know, it's like.
What they've done, there's a girl who runs a site, kind of, it's called Weather Truth or something or other. I'm saying that just to kind of fill a gap in the air without trying to guess what it was and looking like an idiot because I can't remember. But there's a girl who monitors the stations and stuff like that, because what they've done, they moved the weather stations. They took the person that used to be there and sacked them, and so it's all done by a computer now. And they've set the computers to not report anything under an average report. So your weather station now, when ABC, which as I said, I have to listen to the ABC with a bucket close to me. And they'll say, we've got it's a cold night in Goulburn tonight, but they won't say, we've set a record of, even the sheep need fucking jumpers on. It's so cold we can't, because they've actually sacked all the actual people that used to live in the weather stations and just have got an automatic reporting system which has been set and configured to report it and cut it off at -15. They won't report -20. They will not say it. They won't say it.
Yeah,
that's true. There's another true thing that I'm come out with.
It's all about truth, man.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. You've been listening to the Fakeologist Roundtable, having a great chat. We've had Knightlynews from Queensland. We've had Noise Level, who's me from Perth. Velocet, our amazing producer, and coming up, really special guest, Napoleon Wilson, who's a star from Hostbusters Live.
You're listening to another hour of Fakeologist audio chat on Fakeologist.com.
Meet Fakeologist member Esoteric64. He is an Aussie who worked on the movie The Matrix. He is very popular among the Aussies on Fakeologists, and Rollo is his best friend, as Rollo has stayed at Esoteric64's house. Esoteric64 quit Fakeologist.com over the John Adams and Ed Carey and Dave J fallout. Esoteric64 was able to have some time away from Fakeologist and gather his thoughts about how he made a big mistake leaving Fakeologist.com, and he very much regretted and told Aberrator he felt this way. Now that Esoteric64 is back, he wants to talk to new Fakeologists. If you want to chat with Esoteric64, come and find him on the Fakeologist Discord. He will talk to you about 9/11, fakeology and media fakery. Esoteric64 is proud of his time spent working on the movie The Matrix and will tell you about it if you ask him on the Fakeologist audio chat. He will give you details about his hard work on the film. Esoteric64 is waiting in the audio chat. So come meet him and ask one of the originals from the movie The Matrix. Also make sure if you meet Esoteric64 on audio chat and ask him about The Matrix that you also bring up 9/11, fakeology and media fakery, because Aberrator wants those topics discussed, since that is his rules. Thank you, and come meet Esoteric64.
This isn't a drunk cast tonight, is it?
No. Sort a few fucking lines of coke. For fuck's sake. Cocaine. I can't talk too loud because my wife hates me. I have to whisper. Cocaine. Oh man, I've done so much coke tonight. Too much coke. Cocaine. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. You know how much I love you? Cocaine. I've had a few splits and lines and everything tonight, so... Cocaine. I'm not talking sober. I've had a bottle of bloody whiskey tonight. Cocaine. The only reason I like coke, because it keeps me. Next thing you know, you wake up naked, with God knows in somebody's house. Who the fuck house am I in? If I got kicked out and walked the streets, I'd find someone, and you know what they would do? They'd give me some cocaine. Cocaine. I don't believe in the authorities. I don't believe in any authority. Cocaine. When a policeman pulls me over, I say, I don't believe in your authority. Cocaine. I'm so drug fucked tonight. Shit balls, Batman. Amyl nitrate. Open up to your bum. Hey, is he circumcised? It looks like a dick going towards an arsehole to me. Oh, you need a good spanking. I would be well glad that Ab won't put any of this there.
You blockheaded bastard.
This isn't a drunk cast tonight, is it? You know,
No. Bottle of bloody whiskey. No. You spliff. No. Amyl nitrate. No.
Welcome back on the 6th of the 10th, 2018 on the Fakeologist Roundtable discussion, Aussie style. And tonight we've got Knightlynews from Queensland, Noise Level from Perth, Velocet from Sydney, and me, Exoteric64 from somewhere mid-north coast in New South Wales. And we've got a special guest coming up, and it's Napoleon Wilson from Manchester to chat about whatever we want to chat about live. Napoleon Wilson, are you there?
I certainly hope so.
Oh, you are. Good to hear your voice.
What an introduction, man. I tell you what, I've listened to that a couple of times, and Bella said that is a piece of artwork, mate. That is wonderful, especially a roll-up.
Thank you, Napoleon.
And we're all really missing
good afternoon, lads. Good afternoon, Exoteric, Knightlynews, Noise Level, and Velocet. Yeah, I've only been listening for the past 45 minutes, weather modification, but what a lovely, nice listen. It's the first time I've heard Knightlynews, and I've heard Noise Level this time without having Exoteric hidden, so I can actually separate the voices at last. So perfect. Yeah, it's what an educational 45 minutes I've just had.
Well, that's fantastic. We've lost Rollo through illness apparently, so it's
cocaine.
Oh, you said through illness. Wait, this could have a double purpose. So he's got a cold.
You have to do a Beecham's mix.
So, how's things, Napoleon? How's England treating you? You're in the middle of heading towards your winter. Is it getting cold?
Funnily you say that. I could taste the coldness in the air today.
Oh, really?
First time tasting it this year, yeah. You know, when you go, right, there's going to be a bit of snow soon.
Is there a taste?
Yes, yeah. Well, we get that 4 seasons in a day thing over here, so usually this is the one that comes on you when you're coming out the pub and you've had a couple too many and it's a little bit cold. Well, anyway, we felt that today at 10:30 in the morning.
Oh.
And we're only on 10 to 12 now, so it's not even daytime yet, and it is a bit chilly.
So you're you haven't been to the pub already, have you? That's one of Rollo's tricks, going there before 12.
Yeah, no, funny thing is, do you know what? We're actually coming up on about 3 days of being sober for 6 months. So.
Oh, fantastic. Well done, man. Well done. I haven't done that.
I'll be honest with you, it wasn't hard at all. It wasn't, because obviously I've told you, I got a pain in my stomach that knocked me out for like 30 hours. So when I woke up, I'd already gone through the DTs.
Yeah. So, you've got to go with your gut. Go with your gut.
Literally, I did, mate.
Can I tell you, I posted a bit of it the other day, but the most amazing thing I've seen for many, 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 many years, and that's saying something, was an article got posted on Facebook yesterday about garlic being bad for you. And I thought, and I thought, what the fuck, I thought. So I got straight on.
Was that posted by Dr. Acula, any chance?
No, it was posted by Jan Irvin, people. And anyway, so I thought, well, I'm going to look into this, because I've been squeezing garlic over shit for ages, and I wouldn't say I'm in perfect health, because I often have gut issues or bad scalp and things like that. Well, anyway, I Googled it, and sure enough, raw garlic is not good. The Indians don't eat it, and Ayurvedic medicine preach against eating garlic of course, our traditional Indian restaurants will have garlic bread and garlic naan or whatever it is. But in actual fact, the Indians don't use garlic at all. And Ayurvedic medicine, which is one of my favourite medicines, actually say don't use it. And if you do, you must remove the green stalk from the centre of it and fry it and then dry it and then eat it and spread it in your food that way. They said raw garlic actually is a really bad thing for your mental health, and the Brahmins, who are the top echelon of the Indian society, preach against it because it inhibits your brain, your spiritual growth because it is an aphrodisiac for a start, apparently. And the Brahmin spiritual guide says that you shouldn't have garlic because it will inhibit your spiritual growth. And then I looked into the guy that was saying it, that Jan Ervid had posted it to. He was a scientist who studied brains, and he said what garlic does is it causes a fog, or it causes your left and your right hemisphere of the brain to go all haywire. So now I'm starting to believe what I read yesterday, that it is possibly not as good for you as it's been made out, because we've been told it's fantastic for you and to eat as much as possible. But that might not be so true.
Well, I mean, just judging by the strength of the smell, I mean, I know you're saying that it's an aphrodisiac, obviously, in the traditional sense of the word. But judging by the sense of smell from garlic, it's not the type of thing where, you're meant to pick up stuff that's, pungent to you and, makes you want to, it has an appetizing smell. And garlic has always been extra super strong to me. It's never, even picking it up with your hand once the boil's been cracked. So I understand what you're saying there, actually. It makes a little bit.
Its positive properties are it's a natural antibiotic or an antibacterial agent, so it's to be used for certain things. But the interesting thing is, I went and looked up this Ayurvedic an Ayurvedic doctor, and what he said he used this example, which was very funny actually. He said the Italians, he reckons, are the worst shots in any war. They're always surrendering and they couldn't shoot straight. They used to rub garlic on their bullets, so even if they got someone in the leg, it would kill them by infection. So basically what they're saying, that, and I'd heard that before, that people used to rub garlic on bullet tips. That's not the first time I'd heard that.
That's not what I heard they were rubbing on there. maybe garlic is Italian for another thing that you rub on.
Well, he said that if you get garlic in your bloodstream, it's fatal, or it causes an infection. So basically, what the Ayurvedic medicine says is that garlic's good if you prepare it properly, but if it gets into your bloodstream, it's quite dangerous. And I think there might be something in that. I mean, it's worth discussing anyway.
Well, can I just say something?
Yeah.
You mentioned Dr.
It is a round table. Feel free to talk a bit more, Noise. You're letting your team down over there.
Oh, come on.
The Western Front.
He's in the Western Front.
All quiet.
It's all quiet in the Western Front.
Yeah, Dr. Acula. That's the thing. We've always shown that in films in Hollywood. If just keep the vampires and Dracula away.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
It's probably a bit of a stretch, but that's Bela Lugosi who played Dracula. So.
Well, no, it's not a stretch at all.
As long as you got the reference. I had to explain it because I thought it'd be just like I was saying fuck you to Noise Level, which is not the case.
When was Bela Lugosi?
I thought it was Pacino, I'll be honest with you. I thought it was Pacino.
That's what I thought. So I thought it was good. Not Goodfellas. It was Scarface. Yeah. But that's really Bela Lugosi saying "fuck you."
The guy playing Bela Lugosi in
Edward. Yeah. So the actor. It's the actor from the Johnny Depp movie. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Go back. Napoleon, or Napoleon, or
me. Yeah. So like Hollywood's always telling you, it keeps the bad guys away. Dracula, the bloodsuckers, And plus also, and then you mentioned the Italians rubbing it on bullets. And then there's silver bullets that take them out as well. I'm just sort of throwing this stuff out there,
Hey, there's a link.
And so they're saying it's good. And I have heard also, I've heard that the garlic is not good for you, even though it tastes good, But I have heard that.
when we got, had our food fucked around with, it was a really cheap way of flavouring food that was easily back in the... Apparently, so the Italians didn't actually eat a lot of it up until after the war, when there was all the good herbs. They had issues with farming and stuff like that. So it was kind of brought in. And I tend to believe, I'm big on this inversion thing. Whatever you're told to do, don't fucking do it. Like, don't have
do
salt.
The opposite. Yes, salt. I'm totally with that. I'm totally
have garlic. Garlic's good. It wards off evil. Don't fucking have garlic. You know what I mean? So there's something about it, and to me, that's the biggest revelation I've heard since 911 was a hoax. It's a real wake up call, because it's true. They do tell you that. They tell you that garlic is fantastic for you. Put it in your food, and they put garlic bread. Go to your supermarket, you get garlic this, garlic that. So going with the Indians, and I'm a firm believer in Ayurvedic medicine, because I'm big into alternative health. If they say, and they do, that avoid it unless you've prepared it properly, I'm going to go with them. So, what do you think, Napoleon?
Definitely, I'm behind tried and tested what people actually eat. If a plant grows in their country, see how much they eat it.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
It makes perfect sense. But I mean, even just going by people who, I mean, you remember the old gangsters, don't you? Obviously, we all love Goodfellas and stuff like that.
Yeah. And remember Goodfellas? How much references to garlic in Goodfellas? Heaps.
Yes.
Oh, mate.
Yes.
In the prison, slicing it with a razor blade. Yeah,
there were big close-ups on the garlics finally being sliced,
Yeah, that's it, because you had to render it down, didn't you, so it melted in. And I mean, it does explain a lot of why these people are meant to be eating the healthiest diet going, and they don't look too healthy.
That's right, but garlic is a natural blood thinner. There's no doubt about it. If anyone's ever been to hospital or had an operation, like moi, several times, and they've said before you go and do not eat garlic. Don't eat it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I've just realised the elephant in the room, exoteric, your Fakeologist monologue by the computer man. That's wonderful, man. I didn't realise you were one of the original cast of the Matrix.
You know who sent it to me as Johnny Clues sent it to me yesterday. And he said, do you realise you've been pillared? Because I was waiting for me to get slammed for whatever, dropping too many names and whatever. But to me, I wasn't offended. I thought, it's fair enough. I don't talk about whatever I did to my friends or whatever. But I worked in that game all that time. But I used to come home and just not mention it because it wasn't really of interest. But when someone mentions, were you there? And I thought, I was there, and I saw this and I saw that. And I thought I was going to get done for being a name-dropping bullshit artist. But it actually wasn't so offensive to me anyway, so.
But it's a big thing to be called out as an actor, though, isn't it? Like, he was once an actor. Obviously, he's like paid shill or whatever,
Yeah. I still haven't worked out the word where shill comes from. Anyway, is it Yiddish or where does the word shill come from?
It could be. I don't know the origin of the etymology. But I had to look it up when the word started getting bantied around, and the example.
It probably comes from some 300-year-old guttural word where it's like shit. You know what I
mean? You'd be right there, brother.
Someone will be able to find out that goes back to fucking Hitler's granddad or something. But don't worry. As long as we just use it, generally for like people we just don't like. That's the thing.
Early 20th century, probably from earlier Shalaba of unknown origin. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Right. Well, you know how much we've had that word thrown in front of our faces. You're on computer, these days everyone's a shill.
Yeah.
And there's not clear definitions around it either. It's such a broad thing. Could someone just come on here of their own free will and cause trouble? Yeah, they could. Could someone be getting a government paycheck? Yeah, they could. Could someone like Alex Jones intentionally put out information that's misleading? Yeah, they could. So where do we draw the line,
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Go on, Napoleon.
Yeah, no, I was saying it's probably, I reckon it's got a bit of a Jewish sort of feel to it because
that's what I said.
They love their. Yeah, you did. And like shekels, schmuck,
Hey, I'll tell you a really interesting one. Have you heard about
Schindler's List?
Have you heard about shock and awe? You know,
yes,
shock and awe that they get the bombing campaigns. They did shock and awe.
Yeah.
And that's a Yiddish word or a Jewish word for. There's a word shock and awe is for. There's actually a different meaning to the whole thing. It's actually.
I bet.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, I bet. I'd like to know what it is.
Same with NASA.
Anyone?
That's right, yeah. And what about Nazi and Ashkenazi? You know, it's like
exactly. I don't believe they called themselves Nazis in World War II. I've never seen that.
Why would they use that symbol though? Right, the ancient Indian symbol with the backwards the bent cross. There's so much subliminal esoteric kind of what will we call this stuff? It's
symbolism or whatever.
Symbolism, but it's remember when was it the guy from the 18th century, whatever, he said, you will be ruled by symbols. You know, was it Bertrand Russell or one of those guys said symbols will rule you, and that's so true because. You know, I've been talking about this before, your car logos. When you follow everywhere you drive, you've got a car logo in front of you. You've got the Hyundai H, one of the two things. You've got Winston Churchill doing that V for victory. You've got the two twin towers. You've got Honda, basically Mazda, have all got the same symbol that you see in front of your face as you're driving. Go on.
And don't forget, Eagles, mate, like Rome. Hitler.
Same thing. Eagles,
States,
America.
West Coast Eagles, even. I mean, I'm sure they're not. Sorry, I'm still proud of my boys. Still proud of my boys. Go on.
And you done well. That's fantastic. How's Manchester going in soccer, Napoleon?
Oh, well, funnily you say that, right? Look, I'm proper. I'm not one of the United. I support Manchester United. Got two teams in Manchester. Manchester United, Manchester City.
Yeah.
Manchester City were taken over about 10 years ago by some rich Arabs, so they've actually got better and better and better over the years. Funny thing is though, I've always watched both teams because when we were little, I used to get tickets for Manchester City, and because United were a bit more prominent, they never give us tickets. So I've always had this fundamental side where I don't like the rich boys, if you know what I mean? And I used to play with some of the City players and, all this different stuff. But today, it's what it is. There's a manager we've got, and he's not been playing the game. Basically, we just.
I've been seeing a lot of stuff on Facebook about him. They're not very happy with him.
Oh yeah, well, you see, what it is we have like an academy where young lads come through, and they always come through. But what we've had in the past couple of years is the manager buying older players just to fit straight into the team. Anyway, it's not working, and he's spat his dummy out, and he's been moaning for ages. Trouble is, when he came to Manchester. He's never got a house. He's always lived in a hotel. So it shows you his commitment. You know what I mean? He can drop his gear at any time. So today should be the last day that he's in. And then once he's out, I can carry on watching football because it's been totally boring. You know when someone's strategies don't match the team or anything like that. So basically,
this is after Alex Ferguson retired or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think there's been 3 or 4 since then. You've had, a couple of different ones that have stepped in. But yeah, today should be good. And they're playing a team called Newcastle. So hopefully, I don't care if they win or lose as long as they play better. You know, if your team plays well, you don't mind if they lose. So fingers crossed, by around 7 o'clock tonight, we'll either have a team that is smiling or a manager that's crying.
So it's Newcastle's. Who's their number one rival though? Is it Liverpool still, or is it? No,
it's Liverpool. The big game is Manchester v Liverpool. People will tell you it's Manchester United versus Manchester City, but it is Liverpool.
I think it's Liverpool, isn't it? Yeah. How far is Liverpool from Manchester as for a drive, say?
37 miles from town centre to town centre.
Isn't it incredible the distances in London or in England from, you can drive from 20 miles or 50 miles, whatever. You've got a completely different accent, tribal, beliefs, soccer team, football team, whatever. And, it's just so tribal there. You know, in Australia you could drive probably 15 hours before you hear anyone sound different. But
no,
in England,
we all sound the same.
Well,
it's true.
To
Brisbane, mate. We're different, but we're kind of like, we haven't got that totally different fucking accent.
No, not like in England.
No, I tell you what, it is funny though. It is funny because you can be at, I mean, it's been a while, but I used to love going out and listening to, bands, different bands. Yeah. And I used to get in bars, obviously, 6 o'clock, before when basically there's a few sound tests going on. And it was great because you'd hear people from Glasgow, Edinburgh, London, and, all over the place, all within 2 or 3 hours on a train. And then it gets to 10 o'clock and then everybody would disappear again and it just turned back into the Manchester twang. So a lot of the places, we used to have a laugh with the people and you'd learn the lingo and do you know what? People are the same all over, obviously. I mean, we all know that. Yeah. But I do love people that, especially not from Manchester. I like Mancunians. They're great. Obviously I'm one of them, so I'm going to say that. But I just love meeting.
You have to, man.
Whack jobs.
I do love.
Yeah, no, they're fine, but I've grown up here, so, but I mean, like, just, there's always 2 girls from Scotland who are mental, no matter where you go. Do you know what I mean? And there's always an Aussie lad who's off his head.
Yeah, they're everywhere. They're everywhere.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a wonderful place. I tell you what, though, I think I told you this, Rick. One day I was in a dry bar, which is just a bar in town. I'm probably going back 95. And I'm just sat there having a pint watching a band, and there's a lad in front of me with a beanie hat on, a black jacket, and he's watching the band as well. And I'm, you're both looking forward, so the bar's on your left, you're holding a pint. I've not seen this lad, I don't know what it looks like. And after about 20 minutes to turn around, and it was Keanu Reeves.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was just like, hey, mate. And he said, all right. And then, I just turned around and came coming, and he just stood there watching a band. It was brilliant.
Yeah, you know what? When he was here for doing the films, he had a motorbike, like a big 1000cc, whatever it was. And he used to just go and he was big onto the Australian red wines, and he'd be turning up by himself in restaurants, having a meal, chatting away to locals. He was apparently.
Cool. What happened?
So, he's just one of those guys.
Oh, you went out then. You said he was apparently really friendly.
He was, when I was hanging around, he was very standoffish. Like my only interaction with him is he came up and he asked me where, the Trinity, the girl that played Trinity, what's her name? She was very good looking, but he said, where's, whatever the actress's name. And I said, she's gone to the toilet. And he went, okay. And that was it. That's as much as I liaised with him. But he didn't look in the eye. When you look someone in the eye and you talk to someone, he had his eyes kind of looked around because he had stalkers and he had people calling him this and that. So but yet I kept reading in the paper, he'd turn up and he became friends with, people that were, sitting in a pub. He'd turn up and go to a gig and chat away. So he's just a bit of a loner, but he didn't, he's Tom Cruise who just won't socialise with anybody and just.
E64, just to clarify, was it the Matrix that you were on, the original one, or was it the
three of them?
One, or
yeah, I was on the three.
You were on all three? Wow.
Yeah, two and three were done consecutively, right? So they did.
Okay, yep.
Like they first did it when they did Back to the Future 2 and 3. They filmed 2 movies at the same time, which would be really easy to do. You just double the scenes up, and so what they did 2 and 3.
It's all about the shekels, mate. All about the shekels,
Yeah. Well, he made. You know what he did? He actually donated $50 million off his profit to the technical staff that were probably making, I don't know, probably $100 an hour or whatever they were making.
Yeah.
He donated a lot of his profit to them because he made $100 million off the first one. Yeah, I believe that. And I keep seeing, these memes about him, saying all these positive things, but I saw this one the other day said Keanu Reeves, talking about just eat what you want, do what you want, but stop stressing about life. Well, let me tell you now, man, that guy had a personal chef, would not eat Australian food, would not touch it. He reckoned it was polluted.
Really?
Yeah, he wouldn't touch anything that we had. So he had a girl, which I spoke to a fair bit. She was a LA nutritionist, chef, and she made up all this food. And she said to me, she goes, I can't get organic food to my standard in this country, which is really interesting to show you what we've been eating, and so apparently California has a really high standard of organic certification. And so what we're eating when that says organic on the shelf isn't as good. Yeah. Because this chick, she said, I'm not giving it to him. That was what she said. So yeah. But anyway, back to your nightclub, the nightclubs in Manchester, Napoleon.
Well, no, yeah, basically, just when you were talking about different accents and colloquialisms, and even to the point of there was this. You see, how can I explain this? I used to disappear when I was about 15 to this club. It was about 20 mile away, and it was all right. When you like to go somewhere unknown. Yeah. So I had a right ball for about 6 months when I knocked around with loads of different girls in there, but it was mental. It was.
That's a real Manchester word for a good night out.
Yeah, I used to always stay over. I used to knock around with a couple of mates, whatever. But then the next week I'd go down, and the other lads in there, it was very free and easy. Some of the girls were, oh no, I'm with him this week. But it was very relaxed. I can't explain it. The stigma of sex seems the stigma of attraction and sex and all these different things that you have as, a teenager growing up didn't seem to be a big thing towards the countryside. You always hear about farm girls being a bit free and easy, and it was very similar to that. So, I think maybe that's why I do like people not from Manchester. But having said that, there's nothing sexier than a Mancunian girl's accent. It's good.
Oh, nice plug. Lovely plug there. Well done.
Oh, no, sometimes Coronation Street, some of the girls on that. I don't even watch the TV, but
Ina Sharples. Ina Sharples.
Yeah, she's the one. She does it for me, man.
Violet Carson.
Yeah, and they're just meant to be like local hairdresser girls, and you look at them, no chance,
With Australians, a lot of Australians finish their sentences with a question. They're always Yeah. I don't approve of it, but
Nightly News has got a proper Queensland accent. Talk.
I do.
You do.
Yeah, but I remember as a kid I had a next door neighbour that was from Manchester, and he had a cassette tape saying Manc dialect or something.
Yeah.
And that was a wealth of fun for us in them days. The only one I remember was he's like a dog with a tin dick, and then the translation was he's extremely pleased. There was a full cassette of that.
I find them different. There's the people, I was in Somerset, and I was in a bar in Somerset. Yeah, and that's why they talk like Somerset. Where are you from? Somerset. And yet you can drive 20 miles that direction, and you're going to have someone with a completely or a clipped accent that speaks, absolutely, they went to Eton or Cambridge, from London. And then you've got your Cockneys. I was out with a Cockney on Thursday night, right? And he grew up, he was like a lot of war orphan, but he was sent over to go and live with his auntie in New Zealand in 1963. He then came to Australia in 1979. He still sounds like he's straight out, picking winkles from the, you know what I mean? He hasn't lost any of his accent.
Yeah. You get Scots like that as well, eh?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I hang out with because where I live is a real kind of ex-working class suburb that's still got people that are managing to live there because they're flatting with or sharing an accommodation. They're all, bricklayers or carpenters or labourers or whatever they are. And they've, like, particularly the Scots, these guys are more Scots than Scots, you know, they're, just, you know, you're talk like this, you know, you know, it's like, all the Scouse guys I hang out with, and I just lost one of my best friends died on, Thursday, and he'd been in the, French Foreign Legion and deserted when he found out his brother was sick. He wasn't allowed to leave, so he just deserted. And then he went back to back to Liverpool. Then he jumped ship and got on the ship and ended up in Sydney. And I met him back in the 80s. And the guy's just the salt of the earth. Like, you meet, so affectionate. Like, you'll be walking past the pub and he comes staggering out and kiss you on the head, you know, and just hug you, you know, and bash his fist onto his chest, you know, like, you know, yeah.
Is that his time in the French Foreign Legion, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was in the French Foreign Legion.
Did your friend that joined the French Foreign Legion, like, did he join because he had a broken heart?
He just joined because, he would have joined because he wanted to get smashed and fight people. and he said he was just that kind of guy. He was just, he passed away on Thursday from cancer.
Oh, sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, it was bad, man. I'll tell you a funny. Well, I might as well start now. Bringing death into the room. Pardon the pun from Dave Joe.
I was going to say that.
I'll tell you. I've lost in the last week two people in New Zealand that passed away from aggressive cancers at age 50, same as me, 54. They passed away. They weren't close. One was a girl I grew up with, and she was the most beautiful. You know, your first crush, you know, when you're 8 or 9, that was her. She was just absolutely beautiful. And then I found it, my brother rang me and sent me a message, she just passed away from cancer, and I thought, oh fuck, you know, it's miserable. Then another guy from my class, same thing, died. And then
do you know what? Just let me interrupt there. I'm going to start saying they passed away from poisoning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the chemo.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's what it is.
The other night I was walking out from one of my jobs. This is 7 months ago, and Billy was walking along the road. You know when you're just meant to bump into someone at that right time? And I come walking out of a door just as Billy was walking past, as the ex-Foreign Legion Scouser, and we've had a hug and talked and stuff. We hadn't seen each other for ages. I said, "What are you up to?" And he said, he goes, Ruch, I got the fucking news, you know, and he's got he's gone, you know, he's got lung cancer, which has spread to his lymph nodes and whatever. And so I went into the pub next door, and we ended up talking. His brother, who's a fucking mad Frank, his name is, which is apt to, he was there, and it was good seeing each other. And I said to him, man, you got to fight this, man. You know, do something. And I knew someone who had lung, bowel, and stomach cancer at the same time. Instead of going, I'm going to die, he went and researched on the net some various things from America. He got them sent over, and he spoke to his oncologist that he found that said, yeah, you can use them, but, you know, we'll do a bit of this and a bit of that. He's now healthy as anything, driving around age 64. He played for the Balmain Tigers. You know, he's lived a life. So he'd be nearly 70. He beat the three hardest cancers ever. So I said to Billy, I've got someone that's beaten these. Let me help you out. So I got the details, sent them to him. But he went to his oncologist, who said, no, don't use them. Just, you know, do this. Chemo. He died on Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, chemo, it's just ridiculous, man.
It's poison. You know what chemo is? Guess what chemo is?
It's ridiculous, man.
It's ridiculous, man. It was used as mustard gas in First World War. It's the same mixture of... Is
that right?
Yes. So when you take chemo, it's mustard gas. Guess what mustard gas did for... I remember being, 12... No, I would have been 8 or 9 watching Anzac Day marches, all these poor old guys, the dawn service, coughing and spluttering and being pushed in wheelchairs. So mustard gas was a real thing. Fuck anyone that says it wasn't. And they're now using mustard gas as chemo. Same exact cyclosporin, all those different poisonous mushrooms injected into your body. It'll kill you. So anyway, I'll kind of lead to a funnier story, but anyway, he passed away. my sister, who knew all these guys as well, she went in to have a drink with them on Thursday, and she rang me and she goes, "Oh, Rick, I've just found out someone else has died," and she handed the phone over, and another friend of mine who I used to work for, she passed away on last Saturday of a brain hemorrhage after having cancer and then doing this and died. And I was like, that's 4. And I was walking back to her place, so I left my car out the front there, and she said, "I'll pick up some flowers and we'll drop them at whatever." And this is kind of funny, but not funny. I went to get the flowers from this little hole in the wall florist, and there was a sign on the wall, and it said, "Rest in peace," whatever, and the florist is dead. You know what I mean? Like, he died. So that was 5. And
Was that chemo? He died?
I don't know, but he's dead. And
go on, sorry.
So that's 5 people. And anyway, so the next day, I've gone to my doctor because I thought, I had a sore jaw from talking too much, I think, or I've dislocated from doing impersonations or whatever. But every time I chewed, it was really sore. And I thought, I'm a hypochondriac, by the way, just quietly.
Oh, man, those pills the other night, man. What are you talking about?
Anyway, I've pulled into the doctor and I walked in there and I'm talking to my doctor. I'm talking to the receptionist in there who I'm on first name basis with, because every time I feel a bit funny, I'll go and get a test, blood test, whatever. And we ended up talking away about how many people, and she told me these stories. One of them, right, that last week, a 21-year-old girl came back from overseas. She complained of chest pains and stuff like that after getting off. She'd been, I don't even know what country it was, 21, healthy. She got this flu symptoms. Her heart shut down on the Tuesday. They were trying to get a heart transplant organised for her, and she died on Wednesday of a flu, right? 21, nothing wrong with her. And so
Rick, you said this was going to be funny, man.
Anyway, so
I'm fucking nearly there, is it?
Right, I'm talking away to the receptionist, right? And she's chatting away to me, and we're talking about all the different people. She told me that story. Anyway, as we were chatting away, a guy come walking in, and he's gone, "Oh, sorry," he goes, "Sorry, I couldn't make it yesterday because I had to go to a funeral." And me and the receptionist turned around and just burst out laughing, because you know how you've just been chatting away there. we looked at each other and went, and this poor guy's gone, "What?" What are you laughing at? And then walked back out of the room. It's just, that's the only way we can cope with all this death and all that. You just got to find the funniest bit of it. It's like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
You can't get miserable about. There seems to be a lot of, as in my mind, lots of people dying. And anyway, last week I've been around to see a friend of mine who's a dodgy character from way back, right? And he was a bouncer for the Craze in London in the 60s, right? So you can kind of get where he is at. And we started talking about the old days and who he knew and stuff like that. And he was going through his phone, talking about stuff. And all these people, right, the dodgiest characters you've ever met, with no karma left, they're living in life of luxury. And I said, "Oh, Bill here," I said, "he'd be dead." But he goes, No, he's fantastic. He's terrific. He just come back from the Philippines. Like everyone on his phone, everyone that I could name was he was a baddie, there was an old gangster or a corrupt cop. They're living the life of Riley, man. So basically the comeuppance here is that there's no justice in the world, and you just got to not get too serious about anything. There's no karma. Karma doesn't seem to work. The people that I know...
Takes a long fucking time, doesn't it?
Yeah. The people that I seem to know are all non-smokers that all live a nice life, they're friendly. Yet this other guy knows all these hardcore villains, and they're all fucking happy and having kids and whatever. So I don't believe in karma anymore. I think karma's a hoax.
I kind of agree, a little bit with that karma thing. I think it's sorry, I'll put my mic down. Yeah, that's good. I think it's if someone fucks you up, someone does something shitty to you, rips you off or whatever, and you go, "Man, I want to get my revenge. I want to fucking do the same to that person,"
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, no, don't. go the peaceful way. Just karma will get him. Karma will, will get him. To me, it's a psyop. It's just to stop. So if someone rips you off, say just some Jewish bank,
instead of going or from anyone,
it's a protective thing. Yeah. I believe they put that out just to go and so it's a perfect defense mechanism for these guys.
Just go in there, do whatever you want, confess your sins, and you're going to be right. Right?
Yeah.
That's a
and also, I go on with it's like the Christian belief. Sometimes I just go, what the fuck? Like,
turn the other cheek.
I remember seeing, I remember seeing, this is ages ago, like decades ago, and this family, I think it was in America, and their daughter was murdered, probably raped and murdered. It was horrible. It was all on the news. And they interviewed the family, and they were full-on Christians, and they interviewed the family, and they were just like, we forgive.
We've forgiven him. We've forgiven him. We've forgiven him.
He's done wrong, but we've forgiven him and stuff. And I'm just thinking, man, this is the perfect defense mechanism for pricks that go around doing this shit. They know that the Christians are going to just turn the other fucking cheek.
Yeah, particularly the Christians. Turn the other cheek. It's all good. Forgive.
Exactly.
Now, back in the old days, you know what they used to find when they've been doing these, there's a great show with that Tony, what's his name, off Blackadder. He goes and digs up places. Tony Robinson.
Yeah, Tony Robinson.
Yeah. They're always finding in the peat moors that, someone that's been chucked in there, bound and gagged to it, and they reckon that these were the guys that back in the old days, they didn't have karma or justice or turn the other cheek. It was like, this is what you get. You rape someone, throw them in the peat bog. You know what I mean? That was it was natural justice was served by people that, got affected by it and actually didn't turn the other cheek. And, have you seen the amount of recidivants and rapists? You listen to any crime show, there's guys that have been rapists, murderers, and they get put in jail for 6 years, they get forgiven, let back out, rape and kill again. Forgiven, rape and kill again. Now, back in the day, that wouldn't have happened. It was like, you fucking did that? Fuck you, bitch.
Yeah.
Go on. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's the way that's justice for you, like, act on your gut instinct, and you raped and murdered a child, and you want me to put you in jail and forgive you? No.
Yeah, 20 years. 20 years. You get 20 years taken off your life, mate.
Stick him in a fucking bog, bound and gagged, upside down with a weight round his neck. And that stops the problem straight away.
But for the people that get chucked in the peat bog, these wankers, like at least 1,000 years later, they're going to dig them up and they're going to go, wow.
Absolute wanker.
Anyway,
King Ropey Arms.
I'm losing my faith in garlic and karma. That's two big things that I've always thought were there. But I'm now, one of the friends that passed away.
Stay away from Buddhist vampires.
How hyped is the whole? Remember, all these TV shows started coming out in the probably late 90s. There was Blood, something. All these pro-vampire things.
Yeah, I've tried to watch it. I know the one you're talking about. True Blood, right? True Blood, yeah.
The heroes of vampires
chick
now.
Flick.
Yeah, chick flick. And then there's American Psycho. You got all these things there. The bad guy's the good guy. The bad guy's the good guy. And then you've got that serial killer that goes around.
Yeah, what was that? Yeah, what was that? What was that called? I watched the first. Dexter. An ex-girlfriend.
We were discussing this the other day. The amount of shows Breaking Bad. You've got the meth dealers that supposedly
How
the goody.
People, there we go. Here's your Orwellian doublethink. There's the meth dealer causing misery, ruining families, killing people. And I can name a handful right now that I know that died from that. There's the hero. He's a meth dealer, but he's your hero. And that show is one of the most popular shows ever done. Ever.
So what were you going to say, Noise? Let's give Rick a little break so his jaw doesn't lapse again.
I'm trying to remember. What was I on about? We were talking about just
you
a
watched the
ago.
first season of Dexter, you said.
Oh, Dexter, that's right. Yeah, look, ex-girlfriend, she said, look, she was all into it. Going, this series, it's like, this guy's gone around, he's a serial killer. He's murdering people, and cutting them up and doing all this disgusting shit. But you know what? At the end of the show, you kind of like him. You kind of like him. Yeah. And I'm going what the fuck? And so I gave it a go. I downloaded the first series and, man, I watched the first episode. And at the end of it, I just went, man, I'm not going to buy into this shit. This guy's a fucking wanker. He's going to, I'm not going to glorify that shit.
There is the angle, though, that he does take out the trash. Like, he has a set of principles and he only kills deserving people. So there's that, it's like kind of for the masses to sort of go, let's get, it lets them blow off steam the same way politicians give you someone to hate. It's well, that guy got his just desserts. He got his comeuppance.
There's a method in them. There's a method in their whole direction that we're going in.
What I think about Dexter specifically, though, did you notice? To me, it's not advertised as a comedy show or a humorous show. But to me, that's just dark humour. Like, there's actually so many funny, witty things in that. It's not ever referred to as a comedy, but it's written completely like just a dark comedy. You know?
They've got 15 writers writing that show, right? And they sit around doing a big round table before each episode, and they know exactly what they're putting out there, and they're going to add humour. And people have got a natural thing about revenge and stuff like that, but once you make the bad guy the good guy, we've got the whole inversion thing going on again, which is going on everywhere at the moment. They've done it with the Bible. Totally. They've done it with the Bible. They've completely inverted everything. We've got there's a great, I think it's Michael E. Jones or Michael E. someone. He's done a big study into this, and he said that our court systems are based on inversion. So you've got to go and put your hand on the Bible and swear an oath, right? In the Bible, it says, never swear an oath. It says it quite clearly. Don't put your hand on anything and don't swear on an oath on anything. Yet our court systems are based on Christianity and swearing allegiance to the Bible, where it says not to do that in the Bible. So we're inverted in our whole legal system.
Yep. I was actually listening to Crow 777.
Awesome. I love them. Fantastic.
Dude, I love them. I've actually I'm about like 12 or something shows. I've got the second hour. I've got 12 or 14 second hours I haven't even discovered yet. You know, I can't.
How much does it cost to join him? Because I'm quite keen on that.
$5 US, $5 US a month, and you can just do a one payment, $5 US, and you can download every fucking show in like half an hour.
Okay, well, he's good, and he's got Jason Lingren.
He's awesome.
Yeah,
Jason Lingren, poor old Jason never gets a plug, you know, we always forget about him. And he's a muso. He's actually a muso.
Great, yeah. One of the best pro ones recently, like him and Marty Leeds did some stuff, and Marty Leeds' stuff is incredible. Absolutely incredible. He's the mathematics guy living in Hawaii now. And they had a great talk. So it's about 3 podcasts ago. Well worth getting into. I'd love to hear the second hour of it too.
Oh, mate, dude, it's like $5 US, mate. It's like $7 or something. I paid it the other night for the. It's fuck all. And man, this guy's all about. Like, I love his comments, like, you know, modern day book burning and all this sort of stuff, and you know, belief is the enemy of knowing, and words are meaning. I love his man. He's fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Nightly News, have you heard of Crow 777?
No, I haven't heard that name before, but some of the little sound bites that you were saying there about words matter. I've scanned through so much stuff that I just don't know people by name, but when we end up talking about them, flashbacks.
Well, Nightly News, look, I thoroughly recommend it, man. Like, it's one of my top podcasts. Crow 777, it's spelt Crow with 2 R's. So, check out it's professional. He's so good.
He's been taken down big time on YouTube and stuff, and he's very aware.
Oh, yeah. Censorship is big time.
Yeah. So you've got to go behind the paywall to speak to his stuff, because he won't say anything, because he said that everything that I say on YouTube will be removed, and I believe it, because I've seen him getting pulled down big time.
Yeah, well, I cut my teeth on YouTube, and I saw the big cull. Like the Las Vegas shootings was sort of the end of the party for me. A lot of it's come back now, but everybody's all tight-lipped. It's not the same as it was, you know, back.
Look, the best stuff on the Las Vegas shootings is Marty Leeds did a breakdown of it, and go onto his podcast and find out, look into the Las Vegas shooting, because he's the one that tied it in with the whole. It's basically the whole Bible story.
Hello.
Hello?
Done it. They've kind of inverted it and used the same numbers and digits. And the guy that does this, that interrupts the shooter was his shooting. His name's Jesus. And it's
there's a lot in it. There's the one that didn't get much coverage that I was all over was the Ferris wheel that never got built. Had the two pillars in the radio.
Oh man, and John Paddock's the name of a demon in the Macbeth story. There's always it's just fucking unbelievable, man. It's in your face.
Right, I think it's a real trigger one for me because like the whole truth of the world. That doesn't sound like bump stock.
There you go. Have you listened to the actual recording of the shooting of the actual thing? It's like bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the bump stock.
Yeah, it's just bullshit.
But some of the other stuff was like F.A.R.T. I was right into it. It's the high watermark of my hoax analysis kind of thing going on. But another thing that was interesting about that is the sound analysis of the shots, and nobody ever said that there's actually three distinct sounds when you're being
They
shot.
think that was caused by this running the sounds over audio. So basically they were recording, the sounds were coming out over the loudspeakers, and that's why it could move.
Oh yeah, but what I mean is when you're being shot at from any great distance, when it's close, it's not so prevalent. But I've actually got a World War II training film here where they got some recording equipment, and with the video and the recording, they showed how there's three distinct sounds when you're being shot at. You've got the sound of the round cracking overhead. You've got it registering at the fall of shot, and then you've got the sound of the actual gun firing.
Yeah. If you've ever fired any of those weapons, man, you know you're standing on whichever angle. If you're in front of it or at the side of it or behind it, there's three completely different sounds. Subsonic ammo. The ammo is subsonic, so it's really high pitched if you're in the front. Behind, not so different. So they've definitely done a lot of stuff.
A lot of it to me sounded like it was going straight overhead. A lot of the registers was just, clack, 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 clack. And I was going, man, that's the sound of a bullet going overhead. And there was no fall of shot. There was only like two fall of shot in camera view that I seen out of all the footage that I watched.
Did you see, though, on camera, 20,000 people with mobile phones scanning, putting pictures of people's brains exploding? And if that was really happening, there would have just been exploded bodies everywhere that would have just been horrific. There would have been...
I argued with a lot of people over that one, and they did have footage of this guy running from body to body, with I didn't find it convincing, but to somebody who...
The shoeless guy, as soon as I heard that one, I thought, fucking on. I've heard that one before. There's a guy
what's your take on the shoes? What's your take on these empty shoes everywhere?
Shoes are the most common theme you see in all hoaxes.
Yes,
for sure. Yes. Have you got a story behind it?
Napoleon, you must have heard the shoe one before.
Napoleon's just away for a few seconds. He'll be back shortly.
No, okay. I've heard it, and I was listening to a podcast. It's Sage of Quay. I listen to him a lot, and he always has he's great. And he gets a guest on called Ollie Damigard. He's got his own Lighthouse or House Light Productions or something. And he did one on the shoes just recently.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Sage of Quay.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
And he's just saying all these fucking fake shootings, man, that there's always a shoe that's been left over.
Did you hear the interview, though, when the guy goes, they're talking about, it was a CNN reporter or a Fox reporter interviewing a guy, and they're talking about the shooting, and he suddenly goes, so what happened to your shoes? And he goes, well, I lost one as I was climbing over a fence. And then Ian proceeds to talk about guy's shoes. So to me,
how does that happen, mate? Are you wearing slippers? What the fuck?
That's why when people go, well, how can you laugh about that, or talking, me bursting into tears talking about someone dying at thing. You've got to realise that it's an elaborate comedy if you've woken.
They're laughing at us, mate.
I just went to get a beer from the fridge. I got back to my desk and one of my shoes was missing. It happens, people. It happens.
How many KIAs?
The lace has just come undone.
Okay, well, look, I've actually got. I haven't found this yet, but I had some recordings from when I was a teenager dealing with the Holocaust, not as a hoax at that time, but because I was sort of adamant. Oh well, if this happened, everyone should know about it. I was the weird kid that watched shows about the Holocaust or whatever when everyone was saying, shouldn't he be out there playing football? I'm like, no, it happened. We everyone should know about it, But I remember that back in those days, the shoe, like they had like a question. They asked the chick at the Auschwitz thing. She said, we had a questionnaire about, what was the most moving part of the display, and we were quite surprised when they said the piles of shoes. We didn't think we didn't think that would actually.
That goes back to it's a Masonic thing, isn't it? It's a Masonic symbol. The shoe was
there's something.
I think one shoe off in all those bombings, I think, is kind of Masonic when it's always one shoe missing from people.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Auschwitz thing.
I think the pant leg rolled up is the Masonic angle.
Well, that too. Just the imbalance, the dual actuality.
Yeah, but no, I definitely remember that interview where the Jewish lady was going, oh yeah, we're quite surprised, and it's good. So we've rolled out the suitcases now, and the spectacles, the barrels of the thing. That's how they were approaching it. They were like, oh yeah, we got the feedback forms out, and we couldn't believe it. We'd
good marketing
over here.
Good for tourism.
All we had to do was make a pile of fucking shoes, man, and I fucking searched forever for that fucking interview, and
Nightly News with the shoes. There was a guy called David Cole. He's a Jewish guy back in. Great, mate. He exposed it, and one of the things I think it was from him. He said, "Look, in that because I've been to not Auschwitz, the other one, Dachau, and I've been there, and I remember the shoes in this glass cabinet, and actually for some weird reason the shoes, like they must have had so many shoes, but for some reason they had to have a ramp behind the shoes in this glass cabinet. So there's no, it looks like there's a lot there, but there's not many. There's a big wooden ramp behind it, just to sort of bump it up to make it look like a big, it's just a little thing I remembered. And, but yeah, David Cole, man, wow. He got death threats and stuff apparently.
Oh yeah, I rediscovered him. He's got a YouTube channel now. He's, David Cole, David Stein. Because he went underground, but I discovered his channel. It's really entertaining. He's such a comedian.
And also David Cole, I believe he tried to get into politics or become a governor of a state or something like that.
Yeah, man, that's his book. Yep.
Yeah, and he I don't think he made it because an ex-girlfriend pulled something out. Something personal, and it just tarnished his image.
Outed him as David Cole, the Holocaust denier. Up until that point,
that was it. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So now go find his channel. He's going like, and here I am in the underground bunker where I eagerly await the kiss of death, making YouTube videos like some 15-year-old girl doing makeup tutorials. Yeah, vast improvement. Thanks for that, darling.
And, this is not funny, mate. We're laughing about the Holocaust. Dude, this is serious, man.
Well, I'll tell you what is serious.
I see nothing.
Fuck.
I'll tell you what is serious, man. Okay, there's supposed to be 6 million in the Talmud that they had to come up with this number for 6 million. Right?
Yeah, they love that. They love that number.
6 million had to be killed. Okay, so that's before the Messiah can come. It's almost like the temple has to be rebuilt, right? That's a requirement. Okay, in the takeover.
Divide 6 million by 6. What do you get? 360,000. 360.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like those numbers too.
There's some kind of Kabbalah number involved with
But here's the problem. Here's the problem. If there was not 6 million that were killed because they needed to, bums on seats to make Israel a thing, what's coming?
Yeah.
You know, like these people don't actually sort of shirk on their prophecies, right?
Everything is done by the number, everything is Kabbalah or whatever. So there's symbolism in each number that's used, and that's why you're saying. I'll tell you a good one. This morning I woke up right at 8 o'clock. I switched on 2GB because I listen to the show on 2GB every day on the weekends, which is really good. And the first news story came out was 7 puppies, and they weren't just normal puppies, they were the cutest puppies you've ever heard of. They were Irish red setter puppies, died in a house fire. Guess where they died? 7 Hills. 7 puppies died at 7 Hills.
Wow.
It was a really depressing story, you know, and this is what I call about the shock and awe. You've got stories like you got Bill Cosby, everyone's favourite comedian that was your family's favourite. He's jailed for rape. You've got Rolf Harris, England, Australia, New Zealand's #1 family-friendly comedian, jailed for, messing with kids.
Jailed for the other fucking.
Yeah. These things are breaking us down emotionally. Unless you've got that sense of humour that bursts out laughing when you hear about a funeral, that you're gonna get depressed and you'll be on antidepressants. There's a thing going on at the moment that's keeping us miserable, depressed, like all these car accidents that are like the Canadian ones that Ab has been pulling out the on Fakeologist, the basketball team or the hockey team that all died. You kept miserable by these news reports. And as soon as I heard, I'm picking up now the numbers. As soon as I hear a number, that's strange. 7 puppies died. 7. Guess whose number 7 is? 7 is God's number, right? What's God backwards?
Dog.
Dogs, yeah.
Dog. Yeah, no, I totally, the whole God
died.
thing.
7 dogs died on the 6th of October, and they were killed by fire in 7 Hills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was a cremation. It was a cremation.
Yeah. So you're given these
another Holocaust.
You're given these numbers all the time, and I'll put that link to the thing that I picked up on Monday. I was in a Thai restaurant and I picked up the Daily Telegraph Sydney and I was reading a story about Jay-Z and Beyonce, and it said Jay-Z had gone out with his friends. What a lovely couple. Yeah, they'd gone out with his friends and they'd gone to a restaurant and had 13 bottles of wine. Then then 9 of their friends had decided to go to another nightclub. While they were there, they ordered 11 bottles of whatever. They then had a meal, and guess what that meal came up to when they added it all up together? It was $911.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've got a photo of that, and I took a photo. We're being played with here, like
a little bit.
A little bit. And once you pick up on these things and you start seeing it, then here I go and repeating myself, but your speed limits, you're going through from me to Sydney, I see 9s and 11s the entire way. It's 90 or 110, 90, 110. Yeah. Or the exit will be at 6.5 kilometres will be the next exit. 6.5. What's that add up to? 11. You know what I mean? It's like,
when I first started out, right?
Yeah.
And on the YouTube, I got a bit of a dose of like, there's these number codes. I was like, what's these hoax codes,
Yeah.
And so I went out, into like a babe into the woods looking for, the answer to these hoax codes. And the codes are 7s, codes are 33. And one of the first channels I came across was called Jurassic Liars. And this guy was sort of mental. His code system sounded like a Beavis and Butthead segment or something. It was like it had all the this guy's got cock in his name and all this sort of shit, right? And I saved this guy because I just thought it's so funny. I thought, I'm actually looking for the actual codes, right? So I saved this channel.
One there.
Yeah, because I thought, I'll never find him again, right? So you got to check out this guy, man. He's called Jurassic Lies. He was that crazy that they left him alone forever, but now he's up to like channel 27. He keeps going. But,
channel 27, 2 and 7, 9.
Yeah, or 20. I don't know what he's up to. Yeah, but you know what I mean. He's been through. Yeah. He was on the same channel forever, and I thought, wow, how come they're not attacking this guy? Totally calling out the Jew and all this sort of stuff. His name was Jurassic Liars. I take the Jew out of education, But his code system was all based on like, the innuendos. He's got the people in his name, and all this sort of shit. And I saved it because I just thought it was that crazy that I'll never find it again. And you know what? He was making 3 videos a week, man. His code system was fucking being fed all this ammunition. All these news articles fitted in with his code system, with the people.
The other day I picked up a book. It was called, I've got it upstairs somewhere, and it's a book on, it was one of the first books that came out on this whole like pedophile networks and bits and pieces. It's a very famous book that I won't name it because I can't remember the exact title to it.
Oh, you put it in the comments.
It was the Psycho something of America or something of America, Psycho. Anyway, and I started reading, and some of the biggest stories, one of them was this Johnny Gosch story about the young boy that got abducted in America, and he turned up and people said they found him at, what's that thing that Alex Jones went to, the giant owl,
Bohemian Grove.
Bohemian Grove, right? Yep. The narrative of the story.
Like putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frogs gay.
Do you understand me?
Yeah. I'm on a lunar surface.
I love it.
This is Alex Jones. I'm on a lunar surface. Nobody died. Nobody got hurt. And anyway, I was reading the story of the particular abduction, and it said, he delivered 13 papers, and he had nine people. I started going, hang on, these are the same numbers. Like they were 9, 11s, 13s,
Sevens is a big one.
Yeah. 9, 11, 13.
Sevens, yeah.
The whole story of that actual abduction was full of those same numbers. And then I looked at the names of the people that were responsible, and there's a guy called, one of the bad guys' surname was Wadd, W-A-D-D, Wadd. And then there was someone called Cox. And I went, hang on a minute, these are just names that are like, like sexual references. Like Johnny Wadd was,
Johnny Wadd, yes.
He's a famous, the porn star, what's his name?
Porn star, yeah. John Holmes.
John Holmes, right, that was his nickname. Yeah, so all these people had the same kind of names. Yeah. And this book has affected and started up so many different people's, theories and, that this is happening. And then we were talking, I think I was talking the other night, I ended up getting onto that Fiona Barnett.
Barnett, yeah.
That rang.
You got to give her some room. Like there's some pretty wild shit amongst her stories, right? You got to have a pretty open mind to sit and listen to her.
She's accused every actor or personage in entertainment industry of being a pedophile. Then she started on. She said that she was 5 and she can remember President Nixon getting flown to America and President Nixon was there and being tried.
And I think it's Bathurst Town Hall, man. Like she's
Town Hall chopping off heads.
Yeah.
Now, what this is called is you're getting some truth. Like she accuses Nicole Kidman's father, the psychiatrist, Professor Anthony Kidman, who I would say was definitely involved in this mind fucking that they're doing with psychiatric centres. She ties up him with all this other bullshit, and that once she's found to be proven to be a liar, it exonerates all the people that actually did do that thing by.
Oh, sure, yeah.
There's a technique being used by her.
Yeah, they also say she's got like this, some of the opinions about her that I've seen are that actually a lot of her stuff is true. She was done it, but she's got Stockholm syndrome, you know what that is? That's like, fall in love with your abuser.
Well, Jan Irvin got her on straight away and interviewed her, and he used that trivia method he's got with, who, what, when, and why. She filled the pieces within 4 or 5 questions. She couldn't answer back, and he just canned the interview and said, she's bullshitting. It's not true. What she's saying is complete lies. So even though he's the most controversial of all of the podcasters because he's so abrasive, as far as I'm concerned, he's actually one of the best because he actually really does, grill people and use the trivium, which is clearly was used by the Jesuits for their education system. So anyone that's gone to a Catholic school using a Jesuit system is really well educated and they've got critical thinking, can question things, don't believe everything they're told. Look, there's techniques of finding out where a story's full of holes.
Yeah, they're also possibly Jesuit fucking agents, though, It's also
maybe, but at least you get, as I said, the 98% bullshit.
Yeah,
98% truth, 2% bullshit. So at least you can use your stomach instinct to go, that's an issue. I go with him with a fair bit. I'm pretty clear with him. Maybe he is 98% truth, even if he is 2% bullshit. I'd rather hear someone that's saying 98% truth.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff on Fiona Barnett's website that's also probably 98% true as well. You've really got to have a thick skin to listen to her because her stories are just pretty hard for a normal person, even for a conspiratard or for someone with an open mind to listen to. There's a
technique involved though. I think it's either called muddying the waters, where when someone comes out with a allegation, you go in there and say, yes, he did that to me. He, of course, was doing it to me, and he did it to me on Mars. And straight away, you look like an idiot because. Oh yeah, no,
there's some really good ones there with the confessions from the death camps or whatever. Some of the actual confessions from the death camps, what they said they did. That's their approach. There was they had to confess, because they're probably. If they didn't confess, they made a deal.
As I say, I wasn't there. I'll go with this one with that whole thing about the World War II stuff.
Yeah.
They were definitely moving people about, and like they wanted to fill up Israel, so they would have moved people and do that. When I grew up, we had a convenience store not too far from me, and they would identify as Jewish, I guess. They had tattoos on their arms, and they kind of tried to keep them hidden, but they were tattooed with numbers on their arms. So, be them Polish, be them, whatever nationality, they were definitely had ugly-looking numbers tattooed on their arms. So
like a barcode.
It wasn't a barcode; it was just numbers.
Same sort of thing. But
they actually, the Germans actually say that they did do that,
Yeah. Well, but those Jews that you met that had the tattoos, I mean, like more than likely they weren't Zionist Jews. They didn't believe in the Zionist doctrine, and that's why they were put in there. Because I saw this video from Eustace Mullins talking just recently. I'd never seen it before because I love Eustace Mullins. Eustace Mullins, you never heard of him?
No,
he's big, man.
Oh, Oh, he's huge, man. Dude, check him out. He's dead now, sadly, but he exposed the Federal Reserve for what it is. He got Ezra Pound out of prison because he was locked
They
up.
put him into a mental institute.
Yep. But the thing is, there's a video, and I can link it. I'll chuck it on the show notes. All of a sudden, he's just doing a talk, and in his nonchalant way that he talks, he just goes, "Look, in World War II, and what the story was is, they concentration camps. Yeah, they rounded up Jews and they chucked them in the concentration camps. But the Jews that were put in there were the guys that were not like true Jews, not believing in this Zionism BS.
So look, what's happened? What's happened?
But the thing is, let me finish.
Yeah,
but they put them in. They're the non-Zionist Jews, and the guys that were running the concentration camp were Zionist Jews in German uniform, of course.
They didn't wear German uniform. Those Sonder commandos were special commandos. They're the guys that make all the videos about, we stacked them in the gas chambers and all that sort of stuff. They're called Sonder commandos, but that's...
All right, okay.
They weren't wearing German uniforms, like that. The story is it'd be like 2 SS guards with machine guns with 15 Sonder commandos that were actually do all the work, or whatever. They're the guys that are supposed to pack them in the oven.
What's happened is that you've got your genuine people that can identify as being Jewish, that were the people that were being rounded up and stuck in wherever they were and then shipped off to there. And then you've got your top class using their name as to blend in, like your George Soros's, bragging about, openly bragging on that interview on 60 Minutes America that he was selling the properties of these people that were getting rounded up and shipped out of certain areas. And he bragged about it and said that when the guy said, "Did you feel bad about that?" He goes, "No, it was just, it was quite good. It was no problem." Oh,
here's the special sound.
And go.
You're on Australian Fakeologist Roundtable, having a discussion on whatever we want to talk about, controversial or non-controversial. You're listening to Exoteric 64, the amazing Noise Level, who's me, and Knightlynews with a K, all the way from Queensland, and Napoleon Wilson, our special guest from Manchester City, live on FakeologistRadio.com.
You're listening to another hour of Fakeologist audio chat on Fakeologist.com.
Hello all Fakeologists. We have another question to Aberrato's email inbox. This one is from Steve in Arkansas. He asks, why are there so many Australians on Fakeologist.com? Well, Steve, the reason is that Australians love fakeology and media fakery. Many Australians don't have an Alex Jones or a David Icke like North America and Europe has. Australians crave a truther who can represent them, and so they look to Aberrato, who is more than willing to be the lead truther for Aussies. Australians are starved for a person like Aberrato who can lead the charge against media fakery and expose the lies in the news. That's why you see John Labon, Velocet, Exoteric 64, Silverbeam, an ounce of salt per day, Golden Skid Mark, Rollo and many others come desperately to Fakeologists searching for truth that Aberrato provides. Even though Aussies weren't affected by 9/11, they want to be affected by it, so they have a good reason to come to Fakeologist.com. Fakeologist is a place Australians want to call home, and Aberrato will take these refugee Australians into his home and treat them like they're his own family. If some unforeseen terrible event happens to Aberrato, the Australians on Fakeologists will be there to carry on the website. Aberrato needs his Australians, and hopefully Aberrato can take a trip to Australia to thank Australian Fakeologists for making Fakeologist.com as popular as it is. Thanks again, Steve, and remember, Fakeologists, to submit your questions to Aberrator at him email address, ime@fakeologist.com.
If you like this audio and want to support the site in a small or big way, please hit the PayPal donate button on the side of the Fakeologist.com webpage. You can show your support for as little as $1.19 a month by subscription or one-time donation. Thank you for your support.
In my dreams, I have a plan.
Hello, everybody. We're now on the third part of our open mic discussion on Fakeologist Australian Radio Roundtable, and you're listening to Exoteric 64 Nightly News with a K, Noise Level, who's me, and Napoleon Wilson, our special guest from Manchester, was our producer, Mr. Velocet.
Good evening.
Going live. So let's change the subject to something less controversial and talk about the weather. No.
No.
Can
I add something? Can I just add what you were talking about before?
Yes.
You were saying how, something about, everything you watch is depressing as hell, mate, and the laughs is not there, the comedy's not there, And, mate, you all know that I love my film, and, mate, the comedies, we worked it out. When was the last, film, decent comedy that came out that, you actually screamed out laughing, just cracking up in the corner.
Yeah, I'll go straight back with that. Would it be the great Jewish comedian writers like the guy that did Man from Two Brains and All of Me, Carl Reiner?
Yeah.
These are films that you would sit there holding your stomach.
Caddyshack. Caddyshack wasn't the guy that... I'm sure he was Jewish, the guy.
He was.
The guy had Ghostbusters. Wasn't he the guy at Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
The original? Yeah,
that was
I can't remember his name.
Bill Murray.
No, Bill Murray. No, it was the other tall, skinny guy with the glasses.
Tall with the glasses and the black curly hair, sort of. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he did Caddyshack and shitloads of others, mate. And all I'm saying is there are just no. The last good comedy I believe I saw that I laughed my head off was probably way back in 2012. I mean, so it's been fucking 6 years.
Which movie was that?
It was called with Jason Bateman and Ryan Reynolds, the Swap or the Switch.
Yeah, okay.
Something cool like that where they, well, that's just me. I found it fucking hilarious.
I thought Office Christmas Party was pretty good. That's probably the most recent one I can think of.
You mean The Office as in the series?
The American one?
No, it was just out on its own. Office Christmas Party. I think it had Bateman, Jason Bateman. I think
he's awesome.
Reminded me of it. But that was the last one. I just lucked that out of the machine.
My favourite movie of the last 12, 14 years is Waiting for Guffman. That was written by the guys that did Spinal Tap, same crew.
Oh, wow, okay.
Right. I haven't seen it.
You've got to watch Waiting for Guffman. It's so...
All right, done.
Yeah, okay. It's a mockumentary about a amateur theatre director who's a raving homosexual, but he denies it through the whole film. It's the guy that played Nigel Tufnell in Spinal Tap. That number 30. Okay. I wanted to turn my amp to 11. My amp goes to 11. He plays it.
Let me interject here because the one that's made me. I've got to tell you, it's What We Do in the Shadows. The New Zealand vampire film. It's so good. Flight of the Conchords, lads.
Really?
Taiki Watiki.
He directed the Thor movie recently.
Yes, and that in itself is a really funny film.
He is funny, and if you want to watch really good New Zealand comedy, watch Boy, which was his biggest movie. And he did a movie recently with called it was about anyway, Sam Neill and this young Maori boy play an adopted kid with his grumpy stepfather, and he's now the actor that plays in the Hunt for the Wilder People. It's called.
I've seen it, but I always look when I do find a good director. I always look to see what else he's made, and I've seen that advertised, so I will watch that now on recommendation. Funnily enough, though, I've got another New Zealand film fact. Fucking don't forget, I'll never fucking say that again. Yes, do you know when they released Jaws, right? Not Jaws, I'm saying Jaws. It was Planes, Trains and Automobiles.
Yes.
Yep.
Right, well, there's a bit in it where Steve Martin goes up to the front desk and he's trying to order his car and he says, I want a fucking car. Fucking now, and it's literally 18 fucking, you know what I mean? And what's funny is as well, it's the teacher, it's the secretary from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, so she's just sat there.
Yes, that's right. Yes, she's a common actress, that one that pops up and.
Yes, she is.
So funny. But here's one for you. This is how funny it is. It's like in other countries they bleep that out to make planes, trains, and automobiles, for the kids.
Yeah.
But in New Zealand, no, they didn't. They just left all the fuckings in, and it was a PG.
That's
so the kid
destroys the joke. Yeah, it just kills it. Might I add that the woman that at the desk that he's trying to order a car, I mean, she kind of reminded me just suddenly of that Supertramp album, the waitress on the front.
Yeah,
a little bit. It's a stretch. It's a stretch. On the same subject, I was watching Top Gun, mate, the other night, and I've got a clip. I got my mobile out. I was pausing it all the way through, and there is an American Airlines jet when Tom Cruise is drowning in his sorrows at the bar because Goose is dead, and Kelly McGillis just rocks up, and as she's rocking him, there's a American Airlines jet just coming through, and there is a waitress there, just flashes through holding a drink, on a tray, and I don't know, mate. Like I said, I'm always stretching it, but and there's other shit in that fucking film, man. Like, wow, it's a great film. I loved it, man. But
I mean, you know what the film's really about, don't you? According to Tarantino, it's about a one-man struggle with his homosexuality.
There are so many gay fucking films, man. It's classic.
But, I can plug another comedy though, a Netflix show that just come out with the second season last week, and that's Norseman, which is like the black humour version of Vikings. So that's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, Norseman. Okay, thanks, man.
Yeah. Check that out.
Hey, you guys want another little pick, another movie, recent?
Oh, go for it.
Upgrade.
One word.
Yep. Worth a look. Check it out. Write it down. And
it's a bit. Is it sci-fi? Sci-fi.
I'm not going to say nothing. Just worth a look. Trust me. I no spoilers. I just don't do it. Okay, so I'm just giving you little hints. You're giving me hints. It's good. I like it.
Okay,
by the way, the name you were looking for earlier, Ramis. He also did Groundhog Day. The guy from Ghostbusters.
That was pretty funny.
That is a classic. That is a fucking classic. I love it.
Just something about Bill Murray, though, isn't it?
Yeah, he's classic. And the other movie I was thinking of was The Change Up. I think that's with Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman. It's The Change Up. Worth a look. And back to Bill Murray. Did you guys see that footage of him at the Academy Award when he's waiting for best comedy act or whatever fucking award it was? He was in the running, and there's shots of him because he didn't get it, and mate, he's swearing and he's losing it when he's sitting down, just going, "That's fucking bullshit, mate." It's on YouTube. It's worth a look. I'll find it. I mean,
Dave, you just like him to do that for the act, though, because I mean,
I know, but
nevertheless, there's going to be someone there that takes that serious.
Yeah,
what a soul, there's a Bill is.
yeah, it's classic, dude. Anyway, where were we?
I don't know. I think we've done the movie bit though. It's a nice segment.
So let's move on. It's not all about film, mate, you know? Remember to live your life.
There is a lot in the film though, isn't there? What's the terminology for it? Where you
Predictive programming.
Predictive programming, yeah. That's predictive programming, yeah.
Totally.
That's fun of that. And so, another movie that came up about that I'd seen recently, and another YouTube channel did it on it. And it's worth going back and seeing, and that is the Mel Gibson conspiracy theory movie.
Oh, yes. Well, Paul was really done a couple of videos on it recently, hasn't it?
Who was the bad guy? It was the guy from Star Trek.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I said this the other night. It gives us all a bad name, driving around in a taxi talking to himself all the time. Just painted to be the absolute lunatic.
And plus the creepy stalker aspect of it as well. That's what turned me off about it. But there is a lot of great stuff in it, and
It's probably got to go with this 98% truth, 2% bullshit business, because that's what it is. You get good stuff. But you get 2% that can really fuck it up, and that movie really fucked it up.
You know what's good about that film? When he's talking about the conspiracies, he actually does them in order. So it starts off with the fluoride, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse. You know? And that's pretty much the way they were released on the internet, or people talk about it.
It's brilliantly done disinformation, basically, Hollywood.
Yeah, well, it is Richard Donner, that film. And he did, in my opinion, he did direct 9/11. He may well have done, because I mean, when we watch Wag the Dog, you get that director that they get defined to do the direction. Dustin Hoffman plays that. So there was someone that did it, and if you look into what's his name, the other director that went exposed a fair bit of stuff and then died of cancer, which is very odd. Aaron Russo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He seemed to have a fair bit of information before he died. He was hanging out with John D. Rockefeller Jr., who said to him...
But Rick, don't you think that's a double bluff? Because obviously you've seen Trading Places. You know all the references in Trading Places to do with the Twin Towers. Oh, and by the way, I found another one in it the other day. In it, Eddie Murphy comes in dressed as like an African fella from an African country on the train at the end.
Oh, Trading Places, yeah.
Yes, and he says, Happy New Year, or, Merry New Year. So that's a reference to 9/11 being the Coptic New Year. And that's when the Twin Towers fell, and obviously the Coptic, one of the fellas was Solomon. And Nebuchadnezzar ended up being the reincarnation of Saddam Hussein. So literally, you had Nebuchadnezzar burning down Solomon's temple, and that's called the Zerubbabel, blah blah blah, whatever it's called. But yeah, the Aaron Russo angle. Obviously, he was a whistleblower, but it was to release information that was relevant in bringing on this war of terror. When in actual fact, we know it's all media fakery.
Yeah. Keep them scared.
Keep them
scared.
Yeah, it works. All you got to do is turn your telly off, and you're no longer scared.
That's right.
Well, I mean, and be cynical, on it because it's not fearful anyway, is it?
Yeah, you just keep cynical, and it upsets so many people when they go, why aren't you scared? And you go, it just doesn't work anymore. You're not going to be scared once you work out it's just a fucking elaborate hoax. And
how scary was it after the Manchester bombings with all the troops walking around? And
here's one for you. Daddy is on the night that happened. The next day I'm in work and I'm chatting to a lad and he knows. I said to him, oh right, so here we go, we're going to get the usual bullshit. He went, yeah, I'll get a load of this. So I said, go on then, what? And he's top lad, cool. He said, about 2 hours before it happened, he was taking his dogs for a walk. And he takes his dogs, he lives like on a main road, but it's about 3 or 4 mile out from, Manchester town centre where this happened. But he's still only within, 4 or 5 minutes if you're in an armoured car. Or, police response, whatever.
Yeah.
And he just said there was loads parked at the side.
Yeah.
Literally. And I said, what time? And he said, 2 hours before that. He says, he goes, I take my dog out at 7:45. He goes, and this supposedly happened at fucking just gone 10 or something. So there you go. But yeah, and he said there was all police there ready. But this was 4 mile away or 3 mile away on a main road.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so,
but
I mean,
after the event though, didn't they have troops walking around like it was fucking Belfast in the 70s? Like,
well, not to that extent. No, because it was May. It was more along the lines of there was flowers everywhere. You know that type of thing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you did have troops, it was probably just around where the incident happened. But here's another thing. I mean, I'm not on Facebook or anything like that, but I know people who talk about Facebook and all these different things. And I asked the lad the other day, and he's dead well known. And I said to him, have you found anyone yet that's been injured by this? And he went, yeah, one person. Because I say to him, go and see if you can find me someone. Because I'm sceptical about anything I see on the square box. And he said, no, this person got hurt exiting the place.
Yeah, trampled or something.
And that's all I've heard. And
yeah, well, it was very definitely fast.
Okay, I mean, I'm not going around saying no one died, no one got hurt, because I'm not even falling for it. I'm just laughing. I'm going, right, I don't understand what's going on. What happened? Seriously, you know what I mean? What happened? I say this to people, what happened? How many people? They go, 22 people died. Everyone's running around getting fucking bee tattoos. Everyone's doing little charity events and raising money. And I'm going, right, who's died? And no one's telling me who's died. They go, oh no, what it is it's for money. It's for charity.
Oh yeah, they're rocking those Patreon things afterwards.
Oh, there's street sweeping machines with bees on them. The emblem of Manchester has been pushed right to the forefront because obviously it's the bee, it's the worker bee, it's all that bollocks. Yeah, but hey, there you go. All the cabbies, all the bins got new. The street sweepers are now look like bees buzzing around the place. It's like fucking Harry Potter.
Awesome.
A lot of the bins are replaced first as well. Yeah, it's like, the propaganda. They'll get it out there. The university. People come into it and go, oh, God, look what happened. What? A 22-year-old killed 22. Played.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, you still here? Someone cut out? Oh.
No, I'm still on.
All right, cool. Everybody still here?
It was just Napoleon that was having some issues. If you want to continue on, guys, for 10 minutes, and then Rick will take you out because we have another guest joining us in 10 minutes' time.
Ooh.
Yeah, no worries.
No, well, all I was going to say there is I don't look into it because it was a 22-year-old killed 22 people on the 22nd, and B. What's the second letter of the alphabet? B. So that's 2-2. So B. So bees. Manchester bees. 22 people dying. It's all the bees. Bees. Yeah, and look, it is a spell. I'm not going to go prison for denying that the spell's not worked on me. You know what I mean? But I literally treat it as a spell. I don't even get into that. No one died. No one got hurt. Like you say, because I'm in the middle of it. I'll be honest with you. It's not stopped my views, but what it has done, it's given me some prejudices against people who are talking about it. When I heard them talking about it, they were just, stupid, really moronic things and things they said, and I was just like, right, so I can stay away from you now, Do you know what I mean? I used it that way.
Yeah, right.
Mm.
Well, it's great to get to get a bee's eye view of it though.
Sorry, I was disappeared before because my fucking phone deleted me from this chat, so I'm back.
Well, you missed a good bit.
Good to have you back.
Oh, I bet it would have been the most amazing bit that I just missed. Incredible.
You've been off watching that Top Gun, haven't you?
I have.
Yeah, mate, dude, trust me, it's really worth a look again, mate. The amount of references in that film, mate, I haven't even started, man. But there's the names of all the pilots.
Are they making a sequel to that? I think they are.
I hope not.
I think they are at the moment. Because they won't be able to, because I saw some photos the other day.
With Tom?
Till next year.
There was some terrible before and after shots, and they had a picture of Kelly, the beautiful actress, what's her name? Kelly McGillis. She's looking like an old bag lady staggering down the road with grey hair and a big beer gut. And then they had poor Val Kilmer, who's had cancer. And the poor guy's absolutely decimated by cancer. And,
at the moment, really?
Yeah. He had throat cancer and he can't speak. His voice is like, I think he talks like this now. Like, he can't even speak properly. It's really just tragic.
He didn't really have talking parts anyway, though, did he?
Top Secret. Top Secret, he fucking owned it, Top Secret.
How awesome was that movie?
Top Secret is the best
film. That was
film.
brilliant. I loved it, man. Loved it.
And it had Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing was in it.
Omar Sharif.
Omar Sharif. It just had the best cast from hell, you know.
It was hilarious, mate. And who was the guy?
Remember they had it was a Kango fucking drill as the anal intruder.
That was fucking hell.
That's them Zuckers, isn't it? Them Zuckers.
Zuckers.
They're in everything, aren't they? Flying high.
Yeah. But that was fantastic too. You know, great movie.
The Yanks had called it Airplane, didn't they? We got called it Flying High.
No, we got Airplane. There was a whole disaster movie started coming out in the 70s.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the Yanks. You know how different countries.
Yeah, you're
call
right. You're right, man.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I think it was called Airplane, and it's just a plane in a knot. And we had Flying High, and mate, I don't know which one's better. I prefer Flying High. I thought fucking classic film.
Yeah. Remember when I used to wake up in the morning and sit on your face and wiggle?
Actually, one of the favourite bits in that movie is Leslie Nielsen. Like when that chick's losing it on the plane, and he goes, "Don't worry, I'm a doctor. I can handle this." And he just grabs it, and all of a sudden starts shaking the shit out of it, across the face.
There's a long line of people to shake her.
Yeah, with a baseball bat and everything, mate. Yeah.
Leslie Nielsen, he did some great movies. The whole Naked Gun series, Spy Hard. Funny guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And he just had that. It was a classic dry because he came out of he was in that incredible science fiction movie from the
the Moon or something. Yeah.
No. That was based on a Shakespeare. Here we go with Shakespeare again. You know, with Shakespeare turning up, and it was the Tempest, and the Tempest was turned into the Forbidden Planet. Mm-hmm. And he was the lead actor. And that was the best science fiction movie.
You know what? There's sexy women in that. Sexy woman in that one.
Yeah. Well,
the daughter.
Growing up, watching science fiction, you had this garbage like Flash Gordon, bad special effects, and but the Tempest, the Forbidden Planet had that invisible alien that they fired those ray guns at, and it was special effects that impressed. Me and my mates, watching that back in 72, 73, which was 10 years after it was made, we were blown away. And going back into special effects, the very next movie that blew everyone out of the water was 2001: Space Odyssey, which was probably done about 7 years after that. And we jumped the ship as far as special effects go. All of a sudden, 2001: Space Odyssey just fucking came out of nowhere with the most incredible realistic special effects, whilst we were normally watching these crappy, Jetsons and all that shit back in the whatever.
Lost in Space.
Lost in Space. The jump between special effects that arrived when we got 2001: Space Odyssey was like the difference between black and white. It was completely.
And then in 1980 or something, the Aliens movie.
Yeah, well, that was things moved progressively. I think there was I think Solaris was done in Russia. that was a really good science fiction movie done in the late 60s. But American science fiction it never looked real until 2001 Space Odyssey suddenly appeared. And it was like, people just sat there, no one could understand a fucking bit of that movie. They were just like, what the fuck? That was literally what people were saying.
I remember it. I remember it as a kid.
When you hear the esoteric, you find out that, the guy that wrote the movie was a Mason, who came up with the whole satellite network theory, old Arthur C. He came up with our satellite theories. And there's all of a sudden this movie comes out and no one can understand a word of it. But when you listen to pretty much anyone that does a good analysis of that film, it's just so symbolic with Masonic symbolism, the black cube, or the black mirror, the big, whatever it was, that square thing.
Yeah, there's an actual name for it. Someone said it. I can't remember, but yeah, go on.
It was just mind blowing because I didn't see it till about 74, but I remember my friend coming home and going, me and Dad just went to see 2001 Space Odyssey. I said, what was it about? And he goes, I don't know.
I don't want to ruin it for you.
Man, I was the same, man. Like, I went there, we had a babysitter, this chick, me and my brother, she thankfully, she decided to take us to the films, and it was, 2001 A Space Odyssey. I would have been 5 or 6, years old.
Probably the same
and I watched it. Yeah, and I just went, afterwards, I said, what the fuck was that all about? But, mate, I didn't say I didn't enjoy it. I just went, man, that was just... Oh, that was cool. It was cool. I don't know, yeah. It had like, these actors, like it had, Keir Dullard played the main guy, who popped in a few Kubrick movies, but it had the guy that played, an English comedian this is Rollo would have been straight in this one, that played, there's a show called, Rising Damp with Leonard Rossiter. Yeah, I remember it, yeah. Leonard Rossiter was in 2001 Space Odyssey as a whatever he was. He just pops in.
He's one of the funniest actors I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, Rising Damp's I know it. It's the guy.
He was living in a flat.
The Life and Times of... Yeah, and he had
he same actor played The Life and Times of
Reginald Perrin.
Gerald Perrin. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you. Reginald Perrin. Yeah, my dad loved that.
This is why we got Napoleon in this conversation, because this man knows stuff.
I just watched. Remember, I was just young watching telly like you guys. Fortunately, we got the good programming, didn't we?
Oh man, listen, there's no comparison. Back in the day, like in New Zealand, we had 2 channels. Up till 74, we had 1 channel, but we just had BBC, and it was fucking quality shows, man. It was like really good stuff.
I didn't get to where I am today by.
Yeah. What was his name? What was his boss's name?
CJ.
Yeah, I didn't get to where I am today with listening to the Fakeologist.com. That's what he was about. Oh, here we go. You're listening to Fakeologist Radio Australia, listening to Napoleon, Velocet producing, Exoteric 64, Knightlynews, and one other who is Noise Level, who's me, talking about shit. We're talking about whatever we want to talk about, so enjoy.
You're listening to another hour of Fakeologist audio chat on Fakeologist.com.
Within this system of idiocy and mental manipulation and casting spells on each other, to point the finger at one distinct entity within that seems to me to be insane. But if you're going to point a finger at one distinct entity, you've got to start with the man in the mirror. They all want to blame other people, which no one wants to do. Once you start pointing the finger at the guy in the mirror, if you then want to start pointing the finger at other people, by all means.
We're listening to a great Aussie band, Fuckwit City, from the Cosmic Psychos. You're on Fakeologist Australian Roundtable. We're sitting here with Esoteric 64, which is me, Noise Level, which is me, Napoleon Wilson, a legend from Manchester, the great music centre of the universe, Knightlynews from Perth, Velocet, our amazing producer, and coming up soon is Scottish's own Elle McPherson, Kelito. You can fight. Kelly, you're being piped in, baby.
That was fantastic.
We're all standing to attention, and we're all wearing big
G'day, mate.
hats. Well, g'day, mate.
G'day, mate.
G'day.
Hello, Kelly.
G'day.
How was it?
You're all good. Good to hear you, baby.
What's happening?
We're just sitting around talking shit, which is basically what this podcast's about, and that's what it's light-hearted banter with no arguing.
You know, I've got to jump in. I've got to jump in.
Yeah, Napoleon.
Because, you know, the fake Australian, the Fakeologist Australian Roundtable spells out fart, lads.
Hey, man, you're a dog.
Only if you make Roundtable 2 words, Napoleon. It's not supposed to be.
Well, yeah, there you go then.
You're listening to Fart.
Hello, Kelly. Sorry about that.
Hello. No, I was just thinking, like, is it talking shite and that, like, I don't know what you've asked me in for. I'm kind of an academic and that, you know. Joking. I've got an Australia joke. What?
Yeah, bring it on.
I found earlier on. Right, here we go. Right, ready for this one, man. Australians don't have sex. Australians mate. Australians mate. Sorry, man, that was the delivery, but. And then there was also, hold on. Why wasn't Christ born in Australia? Because he couldn't find 3 wise men or a fucking virgin, mate. There you go. And I never know jokes.
Good to hear your voice. Good to hear your voice. So we're talking about absolutely whatever we want. We're talking about Kubrick's movies. We're talking about, oh, God, anything. Tom Cruise.
The word you were looking for was monolith, too.
Monolith.
The space movie, I think.
Yeah,
I only seen that about a month ago.
Go ahead, Craig.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'm saying, I think I only seen that space movie, the Kubrick one, about maybe a month ago. That's the first time I've seen it.
Oh, really?
Not movie knowledge. Not really.
Yeah, it was a movie that just kind of popped out of nowhere, literally back in 68, 69.
Yeah, it was impressive, like, the look of it for its time.
Oh, it was, and if you...
It gets a lot of credit for the front screen projection thing that he uses in the ape scenes, but there was a lot of other stuff with the space where he would put a mat in the camera, right, to block out a certain part of the picture so you could expose the film twice. So you'd film it once with the mat blocking out the spaceship, then you go film your spaceship model with the mat blocking out the background. So this is like all razor work on the film and all kinds of crazy stuff that he was pioneering, and it does look superb and it stands up even today.
Like there's nothing in those days that looked anything like what he did.
No, it's dead aesthetically pleasing, you know what I mean? Like the inside of the spaceship and all that, it's got a nice, like it would even be considered a modern kind of look right now, I think. I don't really know the term.
Yeah, look what NASA give us, all these fucking laptops and bloody drills strapped to the walls, and it's just total horse shit.
It's shit everywhere.
The big tip-off for me was
how they take a dump.
Yeah, when they do their green, the angle, you know how Eric Dubay talks about the 2 angles, either the 0G long angle or the short angle where they're all hanging on wires. The big tip-off for me is when they talk to school kids, they've got Sennheiser wireless microphones. And I'm like, they're ground-based. Like, if you were sending microphones to space, you would be using some sort of NASA microphone, not a fucking Sennheiser that you can just buy at the local audio shop.
Yeah, no, they fucked up with that one, big time.
Oh, and by the way, they do show you using the toilet in 2001 Space Odyssey. You see him reading the instructions. and it really looks complicated.
The food and the wee, like, it's like in a sort of vacuum pack thing. The food looked mental.
Yeah.
But, like, maybe I'm just thinking, like, folk maybe don't, does the movies fill in a gap, you know what I mean? Like, they provide all the kind of, you know what I mean? Like, the sci-fi aspect. And
I learned all my biology from Inner Space. Remember that film, Inner Space? Where they go, literally, my biology has changed.
Yep.
That is how I think. You know, the body works.
There's a new space movie, as I know. And it's, I was quite surprised, my sister told me, but it's, you know how they usually avoid, like, let's just avoid the moon and shit. Like, you know what I mean? You get that impression? Because it's so obvious, the footage and all that. But they're doing another big movie thing to do with it. So this will be, I look at this and know that sort of a thing. I'm a man.
All set for man. 1 giant leap for mankind.
That wee bit there is quite convincing though, isn't it?
Oh, mate, it's so crackly, it's convincing.
It just had lots of distortion.
Crackly, it sounds a bit fucked up. That is, I was convinced by that.
Well, they were on the moon, but they said
a lot of us were.
It was bad.
I've just never really been that into the space thing, all that sort of a thing, but like, I was a wee bit fucked up when I found out the moon landed was real. I'll admit that, by the way.
you and everyone else, Kelly. I mean, it was like, it's like getting a religion,
crazy,
proof of a religion thrown out in front of your face that was, you believed in something and it was thrown out the window.
It was like, see, my wee niece, when she's watching TV, sometimes not now, you get to kind of have a look at exactly why that is, you know what I mean? Because they are moon, alien space from as long as you can hear. And it's all like, it's dinosaurs moon, all the things that they are. For toddlers.
I want to leave.
Rollo's a smoking man.
Where is he?
He's sick apparently.
Yeah, where is he?
He's
sick. That kind of shit. Sniffing sick.
I hope he's alright. With cocaine. Yeah. No, cocaine doesn't give you a hangover.
Cocaine.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I've had and wines and everything tonight, so.
Do you know I can still hear him in here?
It's like he's here. It's here.
Oh man, I've done so much coke too much coke. Shit balls, Batman.
Amyl nitrate.
His spirit is here still.
Amyl nitrate.
Yes.
Open up to your bum. It looks like a dick going towards an arsehole to me.
He is mentioned. It's his birthday, is it not?
Yeah, it was his birthday yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday, Rolo, man.
You'll have to listen to this on Monday or Sunday or whenever it appears on the
You're big lad.
Happy birthday.
Because of Nelson Mandela's birthday.
Hey, speaking of the
original time.
How many times did that guy die? I mean,
how many fucking birthdays did he have for a start?
Can I just bring in this Mandela effect thing? Has anyone seen any modern versions of that James Bond Spy Who Loved Me when Jaws opens his teeth up and the little girl next to him
Sorry,
it's
when you,
Moonraker.
I hate Mandela effect discussion, but fuck me if I wasn't 1,000% sure she had braces.
I was.
Trust me, she had braces. Trust me.
I had braces the same time.
That was the joke.
That was the joke.
Yeah. I was discussing it with a friend the other night, man, and mate, I'm telling you, man, she had braces.
She had braces. I go, but I'm putting my life on the line right now.
Don't ever bet your life. Don't ever bet your life. Okay. But yeah, I put a lot of money, you know.
Yeah.
That she had braces.
I roll those money.
Yeah, nice one.
That's my phone ringtone, Velocet.
When your ex-wife calls?
Yeah. But yeah, no, man, I seen the movie and I watched it and I said she had braces. That was the joke of the movie. She smiled, she had braces. And
Exactly.
So if I haven't seen it, but if that's been changed, then there's something going on.
There's definitely something going on, mate.
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw it in 78 or whenever it came.
Same. I saw it at the flicks, mate, and that was the joke.
That was the joke. That was the only thing funny about it.
Because Roger Moore was pulling that hot chick, mate, you know, in levitating in space, in gravity, no gravity.
Yeah.
You know, and all of a sudden, like, Jaws is looking around going, what am I going to do? And he looks at this little teenager kind of little girl, and she smiles.
And she got braces.
Yeah, what's creepier is what they were going to do afterwards. That what concerns me. Like, that's a big guy.
Well, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Mate, hey, you know.
He
was smiling with braces.
Zero gravity.
Yeah. I actually really enjoyed that film when I went to see it at the flicks. I fucking really did.
Listen, we live for Bond movies every year. That's when you're a kid. That's when you went to see. Because there's a bit sexy, Christmas. A bit violent, it was a bit whatever, but it was cool.
Plus, they had the latest shit. Man. They had the latest technology, the gadgets and stuff. That was another.
Yeah.
And you got to know
it was always a little skit when you went to Q and he had his gadgets. It was his little standalone segment. Yeah.
Can I bring in Doctor Who into the conversation?
Please.
John Pertwee was the real Q in World War II. He worked for the intelligence services, inventing ways of killing people with inventions. There we go. John Pertwee was Q, the real Q.
Wow.
And apparently he was the actors that dealt with him said that he had a real, like, he was funny, but he could be not funny. He had a real deadly kind of personality because he was.
Is that right?
Yeah, he was actually working for MI5. Yeah, John
Never mind that, man. He was also Warzone Comics. You seen that?
He was, yeah. And what about...
Actually, his son, the Pertwee, he pushed out a son. It's an actor, and he's not bad. And I'm pretty sure he's in a movie called Below. It's a submarine movie. I think it's him.
His son's an actor. Yeah, he looks very similar to him too.
Very similar, but...
Does anyone remember, though, changing subject to weird English TV shows, not Weasel Gummidge, but there's a show called Cat Weasel.
Oh, yeah.
That was fantastic. And it was about a guy, he left...
He was like a bum.
Yeah, he was a wizard, kind of, that had no powers, and he dived into it. He was getting chased by the Normans in the Norman Conquest. He dived off his castle, lands in the water, and comes up in 1972. And he befriends a young boy and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But that show...
It was off the rails there a bit.
Yeah, it was a great show. We were really bombarded back in the early 70s with shows about changing dimensions and time, and there was a show called Time Slip, which was really big in 72, 73, and it was about a couple of young kids. Sorry, go.
No, I was just going to say, I just suddenly remembered the Tomorrow People. Do you remember that fucking weird show?
Man. And
what the fuck was going on?
Yeah, there's some weird stuff in that show, man.
Weird shit in that one, man. But go on.
Yeah. Or I'll go to the Tomorrow People. Okay, they were a group of people that could jaunt. They call it jaunting into the future, where they could change times and move around. And one of the stories, though, they were in the spaceship, and there was the bad guy was named Zedekiah, right? Whatever that means. And he had kept this young boy in a cage with his undies on. That was and he was another Tomorrow person. And I remember watching that going, that's fucking weird, man. It was clearly pedophilia, weird stuff going on.
I agree. I found it really, I didn't actually get into it that much.
Do you remember the episode where the kids were all painting violent scenes and there was violence going on everywhere? That was part of the...
I actually don't. No. Should I remember it? Do I want to remember it?
Maybe not. Maybe you're blocked it out. You're an artist.
Probably.
You're an artist.
No, that was bizarre. It was bizarre, but yeah.
Kelly, yeah?
Go on.
Good boys, good guys, bad guys. I noticed that. It's, the kind of kids stuff now, and it's like... fighting the good guys. It's like fucking, does George Bush like this or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of bad on the cover away now, but I think I'm not, and I've just never been into like sci-fi. I can't really explain it. I've just never been into it. Just didn't do nothing for me. And see, like that's probably all came out of intelligence agencies. If you think, you know what I mean? To get us where we are now, you know what I mean? Just nowhere near, nothing like what they described in that thing, but it sort of just do with what, I don't know, it's crazy how it's done, man, but it fucks with folks' heads, I think, this sci-fi shit.
Yeah. Just a little bit. Yeah, look, we end up with people believing in all that physics, fucking quantum theory.
There's loads of quantum theory, like even going back to Disney comics, right? I used to read a lot of Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse stuff back in the 70s. And there was so much dimensional stuff going on in those comics that was like way out there. Like, there was one character in Disney comics was Super Goof. There was Goofy used to take a special goober, he called it, and he'd change into this superhero Super Goof. And half the stories were all interdimensional, people travelling through portals, moving through dimensions, time travel.
That's really,
yeah, and then we got Doctor Who. That was totally dimensional. Look at the TARDIS. Time and space. Dimensional, interplanetary, something or other, whatever it meant.
I've never watched that either, man.
I'm a pretty much a Doctor Who expert, and so's unfortunately Rollo. We must send our regards because he's obviously sick.
I've got a lot of friends that are like right into it.
It was his birthday. He's just fucked up.
He's fucked up big time. But if you're listening to this on the sickbed, he'll be sitting there with his little dog next to him with a that big his pointy hat that he wears for going to bed.
Pointy.
And his pajamas with and he'd have long slippers on with big points on the end, and his Masonic suit.
And a wee Willy Winky hat.
Wee Willy Winky hat.
Well, yeah. Let me tell you this, because this always jumps into my head. Do you remember the cartoon Mr. Ben?
Yes.
And he'd wag work, he'd go to an opium den, and then imagine himself somewhere else, put an outfit on, and then, he was a knight one day, and then
that's right, Mr. Ben, there was Mr. Ben, it's so right, and there was Mr. Ben, there was the magic ball, and the magic ball was a little boy who had this magic ball, and he'd walk into a special room that this guy had, and he'd disappear and appear in the Middle Ages or whatever. And I spoke about it the other night. I think the only guy that would probably know that would be maybe Tom Delpra or what's his name, that with the voice that everyone can't understand, but I can understand quite fluently. That
Mahatma.
No, Mahatma would know this. I reckon the magic ball. It came out about 71, 72. Same thing. A little boy goes into a room, has this ball, spins it, and it takes him into another dimension. So we had,
but most of that stuff was, we used to get all the, obviously, the fucking magic roundabout, all the drug references.
Yeah.
But a lot of this trans-dimensional stuff, that's because they managed to secure the maths in the 60s and the 70s, theoretically. before you know it, they do make kids stories out of the.
Science fiction, don't they? Sure, absolutely.
Maybe not I'm really wrong with it, if you know what I mean. In a kind of way, I think the same about like advertising to children. It's like it would be all right if you're presenting it. You're presenting it like. But they're not old enough to understand what's going on, so I see that advertising to them as just being a total liberty, you know what I mean? And then
Kelly, what they've done, they've impregnated into the minds of certain generations the dimensional time travel and portals and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, now we've got string theory, we've got the multiverse.
The academics love it. They've always
academics bring out the multiverse. But yet, so basically their audience were growing up at 4 or 5 and watching the Magic Ball, Mr. Ben, the Goodies, all these things where people would go into a room and disappear in another age, and they kind of believe in it because that was what they were given when they were a kid. So
you're prepared for the nonsense, it's like...
Yes.
Yeah.
And now you've got an entire comic and media system set up around it, that you have comic cons. Because Rick was saying the other day, he went to one, and
absolutely, and the Avengers is a great one. All the Marvel stuff is based on the multiverse, and their latest one with this Thanos that clicks his finger and everyone dies and half the population goes, and he comes from another dimension. And then they're going to rescue all these dead people. They're going to go into the multiverse. So my kids are au fait with this multiverse business because Thanos from the Marvel comics. So we're looking at every year, so we get this 20-year turnaround for what they give you back in 1971. In 1991 or 2010, whatever it is, they're going to kind of accept that as a thing. So yeah,
can you try to say that the people in control have made a plan? Come on. They're not like that. I'll tell you another thing I've noticed is that you know how all this identity politics is like polluting everywhere, right? Well, I noticed this wee thing with my niece is that she is very into, like, she watches, I think it's like My Little Ponies or there's another couple of ones as well, and she keeps like saying to me things like, oh, you are this one, I was Rainbow Dash, I'm this, and she gives us all like, and I'm just like, is that? You know what I mean? This identity thing, she's kind of, like, I'm that one, and couldn't you say you're that one, and it's, you know what I mean? It's just something I've noticed, I don't know.
No, it's true. The kids pick up on these TV shows, like my kids, I've got, there's 3 of them in there now. You talk about the multiverse with them, and they'll converse with you like, the multiverse and there's dimensions and stuff, because they've got it fed to them by these TV shows, and because I listened to the same stuff in 1971 with the Magic Ball and Mr. Ben and the Magic Roundabout, someone appears out of nowhere and sends that. You can go, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I can kind of relate to that because I remember that when I was a young child. But we're being kind of pushed into this direction by our TV shows. And I'm afraid anything the BBC has done, I'm suspicious of.
Oh, they're fucking terrible bastards. Honestly, God, they are. They're just the worst of the worst. And we really shouldn't. Do you know what? But they're good at. They're so good at like that sort of no. We are fair. We are balanced. We are inclusive. Like, do you know what I mean? They've got.
We've gone. Everything's about balance and every. And I've after we talked about Teletubbies about 2 podcasts ago, I was thinking about what's followed after them, and there's a show called The Night Garden.
The Night Garden, aye. And have you ever noticed the scaling in that? That's like all right, it's weird as fuck anyway, but
absolutely.
The Marvel Space watching that,
really
it's like there's scaling in it. It's like they're wee 1 minute, then they're huge, or they're going into a wee room that you wouldn't fit in before. But no, I was like, what the fuck is that all about? Anyway.
No, you're right. And the only way you can kind of pick up on this is having nieces, nephews, or children that are watching the stuff. You go, what are you watching, and what are you coming out with? And now we've got this, everything's gender fluid, gendered this, gender that. And once you listen to those, who are my favourite podcaster that keeps reading it from Bertrand Russell's The Impact of Science in Society that he wrote in 1932. That's almost exactly what we're getting now, like that people should be, move them into this certain pattern of thought, move them into this, that we're not talking about 10 years time, we're talking about 50 to 60 years time to 100 years time for all of their agenda is way in front of ourselves. So I listen to my kids talking about, different dimensions and stuff because I listen to it with a magic ball or all those shows that I was pushed into my brain.
There's nothing wrong with that in a way, but as long as you go, I kind of stop when she's listening to stuff like that. I go, exactly, you can't really go in a spaceship with an alien. That's not real, it's just like the cartoon. But it's just that's. I can't. What else can I really do? You know what I mean? It's yeah.
You're right. You're picking up on these things. This is where we've got the common denominator. We're kind of seeing that there's something being given to us by the media that's giving us a common thought. And mainly, though, what the children today are kind of accepting as gold, and that's dimensions, portals, especially Marvel movies. They're the most weaponized of the lot. You've got, people coming from another dimension. You've got, there's too many people on the planet. We need to cull them. That was the whole Avengers thing. They almost make the bad guy as a good guy because he said, look at what you're doing to your planet. You're making it go warm.
No, that's another thing as well. There was one that's about a fish, a movie about Finding Nemo, and the fish is actually see if you buy a merchandise to that fish, it's got a wee tag on it and that. It's touched by human nastiness, you know what I mean? A wee identity tag and that on its fin. It's no real, man.
Yeah, no, that's Finding Nemo is probably the biggest of the lot, actually, because that gives the same brainwash out. And so I have tried and discuss these matters, about global warming and stuff with friends of mine, and I look like a complete idiot because I've got a complete opposite view to what they've got.
And
these
I believed in it for a long time. It wasn't that long ago I came out of that one, man. And it was I think Scotland is fucking freezing. How, if you can make it, you'd believe it. You know what I mean? You make anybody believe it.
Yeah.
But she's got zero evidence. It's I don't know, and then I think it's just the problem with the faith of authority. See, I reckon near enough everything is coming down to that. Near enough, it's the faith of an authority, they guys know better than me, you know what I mean?
That's right. When we've been brought up,
the case,
Bertrand Russell said 100 years ago, he said, we will make science the religion, and religion the science. So we've gone back to the days when, say, in the ancient, the Mayan Empire, where they had the priests would come out and say that I will stop the sun rising this day, because he knew that there was going to be an eclipse.
I heard that.
So science has become our religion. So people have, and this is where I just cannot listen to certain podcasts that even on Fakeologists that will say there's no, these people are nice people. They've convinced us that scientists know more than we do. Even though I'm freezing at the moment and I'm sitting here with a big jacket on and I've got a jumper and a vest and a big long pants and Ugg boots on, it's fucking cold and I'm in the mid-north coast of Australia, which should be boiling warm. I should be sitting out here with a pair of shorts on, sweating.
And there's a lot of just historical sort of right in your face kind of evidence, there was vineyards and that in England that in the so it was there was a period there much hotter.
In the Roman era of England, there was vineyards.
Yeah,
and
vineyards
they dug them up and found them. Yeah, and that would have been.
So it's just
it's proof that weather is cyclic. Temperatures rise, temperatures disappear. And the conclusive proof, though, is anyone that studies trees. You cut a 150-year-old tree or a 500-year-old or a 600-year-old tree. You've got the cycles of every single year that tree was there. And you can see it was hot and it burnt that year. And they can see it. They can do ice core samples. But these scientists now have been laughed off the planet. Remember the great, the hilarious TV show host. Go on.
Like the guys that are getting paid to talk shite, which is all of them, basically. Well, no, you know what I mean? The ones that you're hearing about and stuff. I remember seeing a hit piece on one of them that had done a few lectures on like, this is a lot of bollocks and that, and it was like the first page of results on Google for him. My God, man, you wanted to see this. Like, Morris couldn't have came up with this. It was like, pure nasty, you know what I mean? It was like nasty 101, like, just, I've never seen that before. That, and getting in like that done, man, that cost that an awful lot of money.
Fakehologistradio.com.
Who is that man? God, he sounds just like him. But there's so much bullshit that if you've got an open mind and you've got the whatever, you can just see it. Yet all your friends are just going, no. Well, I've got people. All they can do is talk about Donald Trump and global warming, and they're all sitting there.
It's mental, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just
kind of like. I think like eugenics. See that's a good, a good base, man, because folk just didn't know who the enemy is. You know what I mean? They love the enemy, so it's like once you think that out, you're like, what people are? There's people that fucking hate our guts, like aye. You know what I mean? It puts that in perspective. The reptilian thing, right? I kind of think I don't believe in that as in like literally, but there is something that kind of like the people. I mean, it's really obvious. It's like,
but look, when you look at all you have to do to answer the when people talk about inoculations being good for you, is give them Jay Dyer's podcast on
that's right.
The guy that founded the polio vaccine, Jonas Salk, right? Listen to what he wrote in his book, which was called Survival of the Wisest, right? Survival of the Wisest. What does that point out to you? You know, like the smart people, how do we survive? And he said,
but it's mad how they are. Like, how do you think you're the wisest? Maybe you are, but well, there's reason for that. Because I've like skewed everything, fucked with genetics, done it. You know what I mean? It's like fuck off.
These guys, the end of all of these guys on his particular series he did on the Globalist book series, every one of them, be it the drummer from Police's uncle, Miles Copeland, at the end of his book, he actually ran training courses for CIA operatives, and at the end of his book he said, we don't care who runs your country, who's in charge, as long as they follow our agenda, and that agenda is.
Wouldn't you be there if they weren't there? It's like that, and it's like
it's written in fucking English. It's there if you want to read it. He says that. We just want we don't care that, you know, you've got Adolf Hitler. We don't care you've got Winston Churchill. We don't care if you've got
as long as they're ugly.
As long as
it matters. We need ugly people for to be president. And
it's there for the wise, and that's us. They can see, okay, well, he's written that, and then but they're all. One of the best and the most nasty ones, though, was the guy that wrote the book Ghost in the Machine, and he wrote in the end of his book that cannibalism should be normalised because it's, you know, kind of the way that we will move ahead in the future by eating the poor and, you know, moving on.
The vegans going to say about that, but you know what I mean? There's a problem there. The vegans are mental, man. I mean.
Yeah, you know, there's always going to be an argument of whatever, but when you get 15 different books by 15 different authors that all have the same kind of agenda spelled out at the end, and particularly though, the book by Carol Quigley, where he actually says at the end, our attack will be the family. We need to destroy the family because that's our.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, the last chapter of his book is the family. That's our problem, you know. Break them, bring in.
Who said? Who wrote this book?
Carol Quigley. Carol Quigley. Carol Quigley was he was the professor that ran the economics school at Oxford or Cambridge.
Right.
He was an American. He actually mentored Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton actually.
And the book's not about that though, is it? It's like the war and that. And I had access to files and stuff that John like.
And when he released, when he released that book that got canned and pulped, they actually pulped the manuscript. So people don't need this. People don't need this. They didn't realise he was actually going to spill because they gave
probably
him.
For the last bit.
They gave him the evidence and said write a book about it, but they didn't think he was actually going to spill out the end with a.
That was mad, that. And I bet you as well see any like readers without a background knowledge and a bit of eugenics, they would probably be like, this is just fiction, man. This is, you know what I mean? It's important. They quotes in that, they'd be like, man, this is, it's just a book.
Kelly, I was at a job that I go to, right, and some of the people in this particular building have just been through really horrific cancer treatments, right? And they burn, sitting on all their plugs, they've got these artificial incense things that you can get. I can't stand them. As soon as I go into a house, they're burning these. You plug them in, and it releases.
They make my eyes go mad. Them things, they make it. I can't.
Little vapor things, yeah, with a funny light, yeah. And I said to them, they sell them the chemist, and I said to this lady, I said, don't you think that's really bad for you that, you've had cancer and so-and-so's had cancer? And she goes, they wouldn't do that to us. Why would they give us cancer? And I went,
they have done it to you. It would be funny that, you know what I mean? That's the answer to kind of that way, but you could never be that horrible and blunt and all that, but the true answer to that is the reason you're here is something they've done to you. You know what I mean?
They would do that with their eyes closed just to keep us down, because there's
Stop it.
Another thing that is
that's a lie.
Can always go on about like cures and things like that, but never a cause it. Like the cancer. It's never about like what is the cause of this? Like, does it come into it? It's always like, let's find a cure.
They don't want to know. And, I've lost every contact that I've ever had, basically, by just trying to explain things to people and say, and you looked at like, you're an idiot. Like, why would they do that to us? Because, we pay taxes. We want this. It's not like that.
Well, it's a good question. Why we do all the work, we pay all the taxes. Why would they do something like that? Why would they hurt us?
Because they've made all their money.
It's a legitimate question.
Yeah, but
they've made legitimate, man. You just need a wee bit of background. Like, you wouldn't ask it again. I don't think. You know what I mean? Just a couple of days looking at the right thing.
They've made all their money. They've made their money. They've got the power that they want, and it took a long time to get what they've done.
And what are they going to do now?
Get rid of all the people they don't need. And as I said, I'm talking about 6 people I know over 5 weeks.
I like that.
I think I'm right. I think I'm fucking on the money, And I don't want to. Yeah, but you can't. This is the thing. You can't be scared about this, because you just got to be cynical and go, like, I'm not going to put up with that fucking bullshit and make a joke of it.
They want you to be scared. They want you to be scared. That's
why we got the story this morning about the dogs. Yeah. 7 dogs died. 7 beautiful puppies died in a fire at 7 Hills. Get depressed. Go to your doctor. Yep. And your doctor's going to say, eat more. Yeah. Don't have any salt. Don't take salt. It's going to depress you. Don't take salt. Have some antidepressants.
It's mad. See, when you look at the pharma stuff as well, just like, you can never, I couldn't pick it all up in like 17 lifetimes, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I've never been into it. I'm not that clever, if you like, you know what I mean? I don't know the language they're talking, but then there's some people that I trust enough to like listen to and take what they're saying, and it's complete and utter like everything they give you, man. Like for example, like the SSRIs are switching off your fucking immune system and shit. You know what I mean? Like, depression's probably not a real thing anyway.
Yeah, look, just go to the doctor, trust what he says, Stop eating salt. Don't eat salt. It's terrible for you. And just take these, because they'll balance you out, and you'll be fine. And this is what we've been given. It's this, and we've been conditioned to trust authority and trust our science. Watch.
There's actually a new program called that. Trust me, I'm the doctor. I swear to God, I watched that in my mum's the other night. It's a propaganda masterpiece, by the way.
Yeah. What about propaganda? And what about in Scotland though, with this GERFIC program? They're getting it right for each time. Oh,
I didn't know that.
I'm standing on a chair.
No wonder,
I've got a big blue cross on my face. I've just painted it now. I'm ready to revolt. I'm revolting.
No, what was that behind here?
I'm standing on the chair.
Fuck you, son, in this shit. Yeah.
I've got a blue cross on my face, and I'm standing on the chair with my Royal Britannia headgear on.
Kelly, you're Scottish, I believe. You're correct?
Aye.
Your flag. I found interesting stuff about your flag. Apparently,
about the line rampant.
Is it Saint Andrew was crucified?
There's two flags. I don't know. I really don't know. There's two different ones.
This is what I looked it up, and apparently your flag, the blue with the white cross, St Andrew's. I think St Andrew is mentioned, and he was a saint, or he was a good guy. I think he got crucified by the English, and he got crucified not on the typical like what JC got crucified on. He got crucified on an X, and that's why your flag looks like that. Yeah, that's why you've got that.
I've never heard that.
Yeah. Look it up, I'm telling you.
The salt errors.
Yeah.
There's another one called the Lamb and Rampant as well. It's kind of like, it looks a bit better. I like that one better.
Kelly, Nightly News and my double, which is Noise Level, are the ones you're talking to at the moment.
Right.
Yeah. So there's Nightly News from Queensland and Perth.
Is that Nights, like the Nights what's in E?
With a K, Nightly News. And he's a man. He's from Queensland. And we've got, and the other man that sounds like me, isn't is Noise Level. Noise Level.
Yeah, I'm mates with Gold Skid Mark.
Yes, he knows him.
That's a funny name. I've seen that before.
He's an awesome bloke, man. Top bloke.
I can hear the difference. I can hear the difference because I can hear Rick's got a wee bit in New Zealand more than you.
We're not exactly the same, no, we're not exactly the same.
No, we're not. We laugh the same.
Cool. Yeah.
Because I've got relatives from there, New Zealand.
New Zealand. Cool. And here we go. You're listening to the Fakeologist Round Table. We've got Kelito, famous, sexy Scottish woman from Scotland. We've got Noise Level. We've got Knightlynews from Queensland. We've got, I think Napoleon Wilson's still there. And your host at the moment is Rick, or Esoteric64. And Velocet's producing. And here we go to the intro by Fakeologist founder, Ab. Will turn up asking for money soon.
You're listening to another hour of Fakeologist audio chat on Fakeologist.com.
Peaceofmindful.com, Hoaxbusters Call, Clues Forum, Fakeologist, Miles Mathis, Fakeologist, Dead End, Dead Enders, Miles Mathis, Peaceofmindful.com, Miles Mathis, Peace of Mind, Dead End, Dead Enders, Miles Mathis, Fakeologist, Clues Forum, peaceofmindful.com, Pockets of the Future, Miles Mathis, peaceofmindful.com, Miles Mathis, Dead End. Dead End. Dead End, Dead End. Dead Enders.
If you like this audio and want to support the site in a small or big way, please hit the PayPal donate button on the side of the Fakeologist.com webpage. You can show your support for as little as $1.19 a month by subscription or one-time donation. Thank you for your support.
In my dreams, I have a plan.
Oh, that was awesome.
I love it. Hey, who have we got? Kelly, you're still here. Anyone else?
Yeah.
I survived.
Oh, sweet. Can I go back to that flag thing, the Scottish flag?
Aye.
The reason to St Andrew, and look, apparently this saint was crucified on an X, like cross, not a T cross like JC. And the reason how I found this out was because I've watched Game of Thrones. I think we all have watched Game of Thrones, most of us. And what happened was I was looking at it and I just...
Shame.
Total shame. Disgusting.
Never seen it.
Disgusting. It's disgusting. But let me go on. Like, I'm watching it and I'm just going like, all of a sudden the Boltons, who are complete pricks, they used to skin their enemies alive, and on their crest of their flag is a skinned man upside down on an X.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this thing and I'm going like, wow, it kind of looks like the British flag, like the Union Jack. And I'm going, are you guys sort of like making a link here? And that's how I all of a sudden I looked into it, and mate,
yeah. Might be on
the Lannisters stole the lion rampant as well. The Lannister symbol is the lion rampant. Just the other.
It's crazy one, that.
Right.
My pal had that flag in his garden, and the council, I'm not making this up, the council wrote to him and says, you must take this down because it's a standard of the Queen. Like, fuck off. It's in a back garden and you know what I mean? Nobody gives a fuck. But that did happen. It's pretty mental. St Andrews, I don't know about that cross thing and that, but St Andrews, this whole country,
Trust me. Artists have sorry to interrupt, but artists have actually did like, I don't know, a painting of this St Andrew being crucified, and he's on the X crucifixion, not the T.
The X is such a massive symbol. There's no two ways about that.
Yeah.
And St Andrews, what I know, it's like the place, the university, the big obelisk. I mean, who the fuck knows? You know what I mean? Because it's the martyrs. They're like, what are they guys again? The people that were like into the Protestantism and all this. Like, I just think they're dodgy right away, man. You know what I mean? And St Andrews, I have no idea about that. I've never heard that story before. Like, but I know that sounds
really cool.
Cult as anything. It's really a cult here. You know, if you look at it a certain way, if you don't know about it, you wouldn't notice. But it's pure occultism here. Like, you know, the symbology.
It is.
The Scottish Freemason. It's always Freemason. The Scottish Freemason.
Yeah.
You guys.
That's right. Aye.
Must have a big following there.
Yeah. Well.
And when they get into all, they all get off scot-free.
Scot-free. And that's the name of Ridley Scott's company. You know, the Ridley Scott. That's scot-free. Yeah. Get going.
Yeah, there you go. Well spotted, man.
There's a wee back into that story. Like, I can't. Is that what it is? Something to do with an army regiment. Is that what you said there? Sorry.
Well, the whole Scottish Freemason, right? The 33 degree was based on that. So that church in Scotland that they used in that movie. They used in that movie, that bullshit movie that Tom Hanks starred in.
Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci Code. Yeah. Napoleon.
What a great movie.
Yeah. It was interesting, but it was just totally anything that Tom Hanks stars in. Look at it and fucking invert that thing.
I read the book, right? And I think I read the book actually for once before I saw the movie.
Yeah.
And I saw that, what's it called? The Da Vinci Code. And I'm not alone on this. Like, who the fuck is doing the casting? Mate, I read the book, mate. The main guy, Tom Brown or whatever his name is, mate, he didn't look, in my mind, anything like Tom Hanks. He was a bit of a ladies' man, a bit of a, I'm not saying
this is Hollywood. How come Tom Cruise starred in that movie, that great series of, there's a kind of a really cult, hitman.
Mission Impossible?
No. It's
the one with the
Jack Reacher.
The hitman. Is it a black guy as well?
No. He plays. Tom Cruise plays this particular guy who's the hero of this series of detective stories or whatever they are, and everyone that read those books knew that what's his name? Something Child is the author of the book.
Rothschild.
No. All right. Let's just jump subjects. I'll give you one here, right? Rothschild, Rockefeller. Okay, Rothschild, Rockefeller. Child, fella. 11-letter name. Child, fella. Okay, these guys are the same person. Rockefeller.
The same blood.
Same blood, man. Same people.
No, the connection is apparently there was 5 brothers, which with the Rothschilds, but there was also 5 sisters, and they
integrate. They like go away and just procreate with like powerful people.
Yeah, it was an inversion though. So Rockefeller, Rothschild, Rockefeller, Rothschild, 11-letter name,
nice work.
Child fella.
Nice work. I'd never thought of that. Well done.
Yeah. Well, it just popped into my head on Thursday.
Classic.
But
sure, on Wednesday.
The movie I'm talking about is something. He was a guy that wrote this incredible. He's an anti-hero, bad guy book series that's really big, and all of a sudden they said they were going to do a movie of it, and people went, "Well, that's going to be good. We'll get the guy that will play the hero would have to
Tom
be
Hanks."
Anyone, it was anyone. 5'5" or 5'3" Tom Cruise, because the hero of this book should have been really tall, and he was an ex-military hard man. But so Tom Cruise keeps getting cast in these roles,
and you see him as a hard man. It's just awkward as fuck. Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Tom Cruise is look, he's a good actor. I'll say that.
I still rate him, man, dude. Seriously,
I
really.
The guy can act. And the movie, the War of the Worlds, he was awesome in. It was a great movie.
Totally.
But in this, Lee Child wrote these series of books about. They had this particular hero that was this ex-military judge or judge, jury, executioner. And they ended up casting Tom Cruise in the role, and the actual fans of these books said, that guy is not him, he's so un-him. It's like casting Ina Sharples as Sylvester Stallone in the Rambo movie, you know what I mean? It's like...
I'm trying to think of the movie, man. I'd like to know what it is. I've seen most of Tom's movies.
Well, it was his last...
Cocktail.
Last...
I watched that the other night. Awesome movie. Awesome.
While we're talking, I'll just Google it and I'll come back. One sec.
Okay. All right.
I casted Mel Gibson as William Wallace, right?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Apparently, if you look at that, if you look at the article, apparently he is. I don't know if he's directly related
as
with
Jack
Wallace,
Reacher.
but
The character is Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher. You were right before. Someone said Jack
I'm
Reacher. You were right.
I'm all right with him.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I don't nuts if Tom Cruise is freaking William Wallace. No way.
Yeah,
I'd rather have more.
You know, William Wallace. William Wallace was the bad guy, wasn't he? In the actual true story, wasn't William Wallace the bad guy in the actual? You can invert that story.
There were no good guys in the Middle Ages. Is probably the closest thing. You're not going to have a hero that's shiny and all that because
he's the only person in the whole history that's ever gone in and
Kelly, Nightly News is a expert on battle armour of knights in armour.
Well, I wouldn't say expert, but I think you are.
I'm going to say you are.
You know more than us.
Probably the expert of the panel tonight. The expert.
I'll give you that.
You know, when I was in Tower of London and the Hospital de l'Invalide in Paris, all I could do was walk around looking at their armour and looking for scratches and battle scars. You know, that was my...
yeah.
Nice
that's what I look for. I look for it. Questioning going, is that real? And then the invalid in the castle thing that they had, and same with the British Tower of London, they've got all this weaponry from way back. And some of it had some scratches and cuts and stuff, but I never saw that. You know, imagine a big heavy broadsword coming down on a knight. You'd see a big cut, man. You'd know.
Well, possibly if that's what you're looking for, there's this famous grave find called the Visby grave finds, and that's where they rolled all the enemy soldiers into a mass grave, still wearing all their armour, and still had all
that's convenient.
Did they find it?
Yeah, it was uncovered in the 1920s. It's the only real complete sort of grave find from that time, and it's all like it's not planted there. It's all considerably rusted.
I mean, man, listen. I'm not with this, no bullshit, there's no war, no guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Fucking shit, man. I mean, as I said, my example is that I keep using.
Stop it.
Misunderstanding. Yeah, stop it.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That is, in fact, a lie. You know you're a liar. You're a liar.
What I use,
I miss that guy.
You're a liar.
Oh, he's still around.
Really miss.
Anyone telling you that happens is, in fact, a liar.
That's me. Go into a Turkish restaurant now, right?
Yeah.
And say, I'm just coming in here, and when they say, what do you want? And say, I'm taking over because nobody dies, nobody got hurt. I'm just having I'm taking
nobody died, nobody got hurt.
I'm just taking over your restaurant because I've decided that I want to take it over. They'll cut your leg off. They'll cut your head off. They'll cut your arm off before you get in there. If you cannot go into another country and just say, oh, I'm just over here because the big boys have said that it's my turn to take over. This doesn't work like that. Life is different. Life, you've got patriots, you've got people that are, just proudly fierce of their own culture. You can't just walk into a place and say, you're mine. That won't happen. It doesn't happen. It's impossible to happen. You've got to have tough guy military to go in there and go, we're taking over now, and if you want to fight us or fuck off. And
there's a saying amongst sort of like in the bikie culture there with guys who play with guns, right?
Yeah.
They say if you're going to play with it, you're going to use it. You're going to end up using it, and that's sort of a saying. You sort of don't play with guns, don't collect guns or whatever, because you're going to end up shooting someone or shooting yourself. But whenever there's a sort of somebody shot themselves or something like that, it's like, oh yeah, well he was always playing with guns. If you're playing with guns, you're going to use them, right? So when you take that sort of sentiment into account and you look at the fucking armament factory build up, like the soldiers check out some YouTube channels on, AR rifles and stuff like that,
Yeah, and I've seen them all, man. I know.
Yeah, and it's armed to the teeth. It is true that the ratio of non-combatants to combatants is something like 10 to 1, so you're going to be talking to a blanket folder in most cases who is coming back from Iraq or seldom are you talking to somebody who was actually in the shit. Probably because, if it's people who are in the shit aren't hanging around talking to morons like us saying this is no war.
I've made it a point though, as soon as I met somebody that's like, I got friends who are in Northern Ireland on both sides, right?
Yeah.
Both sides.
Yeah.
And you'll hear the same kind of stories, and there's a great book called The Nemesis File by a ex-SAS trooper that spilled the beans that there was a lot of people shot unnecessarily and set up for ambushes, and what they do was in the Nemesis File, they planted a whole lot of weaponry in a field, and the British troops sat around it waiting, knowing that someone would come in there to pick. No, sorry, they found some weapons, and they thought, right, so someone's going to come pick these up. So they set this place up for a operation, and one night some guy came walking into the area that looked like he was going into that field, and they just opened up and killed him. And he was some young guy, he was just an innocent guy that was walking in, being stupid, having a look around.
Taking a piss, probably.
Probably. It was complete, it was complete random guy turned up there. He got gunned down for no reason, and they had to cover it up and,
Yeah. Well,
these things happen, man. I've worked with guys. I worked with one of the, quite a senior member of the 22 SAS, which is their best. Yeah. And I asked him, I said, how do you feel about stuff? He said to me, ask my wife what do I feel about it. He goes, I can't sleep. I wake up at night. He said, I did all this shit. And I said, and he said, what did I do it for? And he was suffering terribly.
Yeah. That's another thing, man. There's actually everything's actually there. See, the military, man, they're interesting as anything, and you kind of think, all the stuff's well, no, really, man. There's quite a lot of stuff online, and believe me, man, these guys got psychology down, right? So I'm kind of I'm not really sure. I'm not saying, I really haven't saying anything like that. I don't think, but in the same time, I've just not really got a clue on what these fuckers are. You know what I mean?
Listen, it was happening, and there's been, you say you want to take over somebody's backyard, where I am now, and I want to take over their property. I can't just walk over and say, well, the big boys have said that I'm entitled to have this because, we've done an arrangement. They're going to say, no, this is my property, I own it. Humans want to fight. It's a natural instinct.
I don't know if they are new. No, it's like, they're so complicated. So complicated, this matter, man.
We don't just give things away for nothing. And if you're in Afghanistan, right, and you've been living there for 2,000 years or whatever and someone turns up with an Australian accent and says, we're going to actually start running the poppy fields here, you're going to start shooting at them. That's why they've got guns. They don't go there without guns.
They're not really political, the propaganda, I think that's done a lot to people here. Like, they're just so freaking passive. You know what I mean? Nobody would fight in them much here. I think you could pretty much come up here and do what you want, really. But, the Afghani people and that, they will be a bit more, what's the word? Like, I don't mean this in a passive, I mean it in a good way. Feral, they'll be a bit more...
Dissent.
You know what I mean?
They're going to use the word now. Fuck off. This is my property. Right? That's just a simple way. That's just a simple thing. I've met Turkish commandos, I've met Greek commandos, whatever. I've met Irish IRA. I've met Special Air Service from 3 different countries. These guys do not get on with each other. I guarantee.
Right.
Mate, if you've ever had anyone go through Kapuka, mate, they're all fighting each other, mate.
That's right, exactly.
For nothing. So,
yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, Kapuka's our training ground for soldiers or whatever. But the world are all, we're all individuals. We've all got our own identities. We've all got our own places. Like I'm from New Zealand. If someone came over and said, I'm from Bogota and we're just moving in here because the big boys said that we're all you'd smash them in the face with your elbow because they're not taking over your backyard. You know what I mean? This doesn't happen in real life. And anyone that says that it does is in La La Land. It doesn't. It's like you've got to have a bigger army. You've got to have a bigger, stronger force of brainwashed dumb cunts, and that's the best way I can describe it. Dumb cunts that have listened to all their news reports that the head of New Zealand's hacksawing people's legs off because they don't agree with our policy. We'll bring it out, right? This is the way the world's been taken over.
Propaganda, like, isn't it?
Well, there was some poll there that I seen recently where it said 69% of American service people, right, as men and women, today still cite the reason that they are in the services is because of 9/11. That's the
exactly
right. Absolutely.
Why would they go to all of that trouble to fake this bullshit if they had the complete control of people? They don't have complete control of people. Right?
Exactly.
Back in 1926, say, all right. Here I'm dropping figures without the actual reference, but so I'll say 26, right?
Yeah.
There was a revolution in Sydney. Because of the banking system, that people went, all these ex-return soldiers that come back from World War I, trained up, had 303s in the garage, went, something's going wrong here, we're going to fuck it up, we're going to go and take over the government. They went over and it was an overthrow of the government in 26, okay?
Wow.
That's what you could do in those days. You could go together with all your people in your backyard and say, man, we've been lied to about this, we're going to go and fuck it up. You could do that because people were together.
I just take nothing to do with it. It's one of, I reckon like that sort of a direct, the direct sort of aggression thing. I mean, it sounds alright and it's like, see the movements and all that stuff, but I don't think that works. I think that what folk need to do is like, ignore the bastards. If you get what I'm saying. And I'm not a non-passer, believe me. It's just like, do less, not more.
What I'm talking about is what actually happened back in 26, where people just went, a group of people just went, I'm not putting up with this shit. So it was something to do with their pensions. The war pensions were cut off. So a group of a whole lot of ex-vets with guns in their backyard went, fuck this. And they went down and they took over this New South Wales government with guns and kicked the people out of the... Yeah, but you won't hear that in your history lessons because they don't talk about that.
I don't know that one. I'm going
to Let's Google Armed Resurrection New South Wales if it hasn't been removed, but it happened.
Yeah, man. No, I'm keen.
Now, this is what, because at the very top, right, we've got this top 1% that are running things.
Sorry.
Then you've got a 99% of us, and that's all. Say, look around you now. You've got all your mates, all your streets, all your whatever. If we all got together and went, fuck this, I'm not putting
this. That's the thing, man. Divide all that.
Napoleon Bonaparte witnessed the revolution, the first revolution in France, where the peasants got up and just took over and had a massive thing. And their reaction to that was after they fixed nailed down that resurrection, they bulldozed all of the little streets and made them big, giant roadways so that no peasants could block a, 30 or 40 or 50 metre area with chairs and tables and stuff like that. They made them wider so no one could do that. Napoleon's fear was when the peasants would actually, he was scared of the masses. And that's why all these things have been slowly brought into thing that, education dumbed down, guns banned, using bullshit excuses. It's all been done, what's that saying where they say, quietly catch the
Fabian, Fabian
style. That's the Fabian 100-year plan. And that's what they've done. They've done it really slowly. Just ban this, ban that, medicated the public, fuck the education system up. All these things have been done really slowly just to get us to where we are now. And whenever I hear all these fuckheads that come and say, oh, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that.
It's like a matter of, like, not consenting, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like in the bigger frame of things, it's a matter of that, I reckon, rather than, like, fighting them and all that. They're wanting to do that. They would turn that into something brilliant, you know what I mean, for themselves at all times. The only thing I think is, like, what would they do if they, like, showed up to an election day? That'd be awesome, you know what I mean? I can't really think what they would do with that to make it brilliant.
They've used places like China, right? Apparently China has had democracy, communism, democracy. Like, over whatever 1,000 years, China has tried every different method of what works and what doesn't work, and it's been one of those places they've used as a role model for how we do this stuff. And now we're seeing China doing what they call the 100 years. They've got this thing called Golden Century, and you'll notice a lot of restaurants called Golden Century. Chinese have this thing about 100-year plan, 100-year this. They don't move like we're talking about that, not the British politicians, one of those, that sleazy group that are the Fabian socialists. Things are done in 100 years' time. 100 years, like right now, if you think about it now, 100 years ago, World War I ended, okay? Look at the way the world changed since that time. We've lost our guns, we've lost our education system, we've lost yeah, but they're doing it over 100-year cycles. They're not doing it over 2-year, 3-year, 4-year revolutions. They wait a long time. You know, they've got all the time in the world just to get us to.
China, and that's been funded by the same folk. That's like all been funded by the same folk.
Well, no, sorry. It's been funded by the same folk since they did the revolution with the using the heroin, the opium wars. That's when they infiltrated. Then they brought in the Yale, called the Yale A School, where Chairman Mao was educated by the same guys that run the CIA, same family, same bankers.
There's probably a British Empire. Take it right back. Like it's the same folk.
We only need to go 150 years though for that lot to have infiltrated China, because China had a much stronger. Their system was based on the thinker that we talk about. You know, the incredible mind of the Chinese philosopher Confucius. Yeah, okay, Confucius' system got removed by the British government when they used that gang to come in there and fuck them up with flooding the place with opium, used the opium wars to destroy Confucianism and that particular cycle of
gunboat diplomacy. Yeah.
That's them. Yeah, exactly. So we've got this bullshit. So what we've got to kind of analyse is the last 250 years, what our history is, what we've been given. Don't believe any of it. Invert it and try and work out where they've got to us to think these things. Because China wasn't China that we're looking at now. It was apparently a beautiful place with, gardens and, everyone was getting on well. They sorted out society, but Britain using that gang, the Dutch, India market, right, went in there and fucked it up because they knew, you know what I mean, that what they could do in the future using this race of people that are just like, they're a lot like ants now because they've had their instincts bred out of them. They've been, all this beautiful furniture, all the colour, like Chairman Mao and his gang went around and made everyone paint everything black, like remove colour, and killed all the educated artistical types by rounding them up and putting them into gulags and giving us.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to be Falun Gong over in.
Exactly. Now that's really interesting. That's a really interesting thing to get into to find out more about them, and I don't know a lot.
Well, I don't know a lot about them, but I do know that they are the big organ donors. Involuntary organ donors.
Involuntary organ donors.
Yeah. Yeah, perfectly healthy political prisoners.
Guess what?
Carved up in the back of the truck and kicked out.
We're going to be the organ donors in about 4 years' time, I'd say.
Yeah, right. It's possible.
He says giggling.
Yes.
You go, Kel.
What's your organ donor status on your driver's licenses? Can we address that to everyone on the panel? Because I have mine set to donate because that's something I did when I was younger, and I haven't bothered to change it since. I intend to.
Foolish.
You hadn't seen that Monty Python skit yet.
Yeah, I have.
I understand I don't want to do it now. I'm just saying it was something I did when I was, very left-wing young guy. I mean, who can blame me? Let's be honest here. Come on, that's a fair statement.
Totally. It's all good. All good. I was the same way of thinking.
Yeah.
My mother got a kidney from someone that gave her 7 life and saw her grandchildren, So I'm big on that. I believe on it.
I just want to say, Rick, if you want to let this run for about 10 more minutes or so, and then we'll run the wrap. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, all right. It's time for me to go as well.
Yeah, 10 minutes. I've got a few more points, but at the moment, just keep talking. I'm just sorting something out.
Hey, Noise.
Yeah.
Anytime you want to chat, man, just contact me because we've obviously got a lot in common,
Yeah. Apart from the voice.
but during the week or whenever, just call for a chat or whatever, because
just use Discord. We'll just go Discord. We're on it now.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All good.
No worries, man.
I'll have a chat.
What's that? Sorry.
I'll have a wee chat as well, so anytime, just if you see me on or whatever.
Yeah, mate, that's lovely, guys.
You don't have to record it or whatever, it's just interesting. Doing a bit of research and stuff.
We've kind of done this thing just by, it's organically happened with, we've got Velocet producing everything, but it's just... we're just doing this because after all the fighting and infighting that went on with the Fakebusters gang.
Absolutely, man.
We're just trying to kind of create the same vibe that Hoaxbusters used to have, where you can just have a laugh. Yeah.
Because it's just it's craziness, man. I mean, it's just what we're saying now. How can you ever get anything done? Do you know what I mean?
Well, look, can I?
There must be a method to do.
I'll just say something like all this infighting that's going on. I was listening to a Sage of Quay episode that he put out, and
that's Mike Williams. Mike Williams does that.
Mike Williams, yes, yeah. And he was going on he was talking to some chick, some girl, and they were going to make, what's happened with the truth movement at the moment, man? Like there's all this everybody's calling themselves shills. You're a fuckhead. They've got all these fuckheads in here just causing division, and that's what they do.
So, what you're saying about, I'm interrupting here and interrupting myself, but what's happened, this is how you pick them and this is how you remove them. Once they start arguing with you and start insulting you and being nasty, you know that they're a fucking setup. And I go, and I don't need to name, there's a couple on the Fakeologist site that are doing that.
We'll work out who they are.
Scumbag!
Nobody got hurt. It's a good indication in a way. I think there's bother like that sort of behaviour all over the internet, if you know what I mean. But you can see it's
it's so obvious to me though, man. I'm getting older, but I can
you like the losers, Cindy.
I can pick the fucking bullshit artist out. As soon as I listen to them, I go, you're a bullshit artist. It's like, fuck off.
A lot of them won't be talking no way. A lot of them are just these typers and shit. And I don't know, man. I don't know how you get round it. How you
get round it is like what we're doing now. We're having discussions, and all 5 of us, or whoever's on this, may have different, end games and our thoughts, but yet we're all getting on good. And we're not screaming at each other that you're a liar. And once someone comes in here into this gang that we've got now and starts causing a fight, bang, you've got there's spots, there's some.
Going to kick you out.
Okay. Hey, you're listening to the Fakeologist Roundtable. Lovely discussion, being non-argumentative and talk about absolute fucking everything. And you've had noise level, Fakeologist, legend, that sounds like me. Kelito, who's just come back from the wilderness on this site, and Knightlynews, who's a true legend from Queensland. The legendary producer Velocet, who's just a legend. And no Rollo
this week.
Oh.
We'll have to have him back next week.
What a shame. What a shame.
We're having a great chat. And Napoleon Wilson's in there somewhere. He's been really quiet, but he's there. And we appreciate special guest stars like him. Enjoy the day. Good night, everybody. Be cool.